raised bizarre sigils all around it. But you don't know what that means because it's not in Draconic. It's in that bizarre alien language that you saw on the book.
Okay. In that case, I want to do an investigation around this room while perceiving for traps at the same time, but I'm going to be looking for any type of mechanisms.
Now, you already rolled your perception for traps.
Okay, so that would have detected any in this room as well.
Yeah, you can roll investigation.
Okay, I will look around this room, being careful as to not break that field, obviously, in order to discern mechanisms. Okay. Once again, 8 becomes a 10 because of my ability. 21.
Okay. There doesn't appear to be very much to discern in this room that is hidden. It's a very obviously made room, designed to intimidate and humble, as far as you can tell, assuming that it was built with those intentions. However, it could very possibly be that whatever postures these creatures are taking is not at all in correlation to what you as an elf would interpret them to mean. These are alien creatures, after all, so logically, it could their position of their hands out and their faces open, and the same image of the giant one of their number on the ceiling looking down menacingly and bearingly at you. It's very eerie and frightening, especially with the green glowing, but that might not be what it means to them.
Morgan.
Yes?
I believe what's triggering this trap is in fact this field. The green field that is around the glow from beneath. Is your detect magic somehow still up?
No, even if I still had it up from the time, casting guidance on you would have canceled it out.
I also want to point out in the drawings from your investigation roll,
Yes.
you know that there were images in those.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Of the Warforged being below the demons. Demons do seem to populate the area up here. And it does match the imagery. Since it's a non-visual media, you can role-playing is visual media that you would see seems to match the imagery that they would have gone down this conduit in order to be safe. Derek wants to know if we can take a bio break. Are there any objections?
No.
Nope.
Okay, we'll take a 5-minute bio break.
Alright.
This is very interesting, this session.
Yes. It has been very interesting. I thought we were about to come to blows there, like all the way.
Oh, we didn't? Man, I wish I'd known we didn't actually come to blows.
Let me rephrase that.
Wait,
I thought
what's so
party was
funny?
going...
Because I got to leave the room and I heard that thing super loud from my headphones across the room.
Kevin said something funny.
We're just plotting your device. Continue to go to the bathroom. No, I meant, I thought by that I meant, I thought our party was about to fracture.
It kind of did for a minute.
I thought you were going to the bathroom.
I am.
Okay. My plan actually, now that doesn't matter. My plan was to actually, use Dimension Door and get you the hell out of there.
Oh.
Yep.
But might that not go against your orders?
Yes, I would have taken up to 50 points of psychic damage, but I will not have died.
Oh,
And it can only happen once a day.
it's
So
true.
after that, I could act against his will as much as I wanted to. So I had an emergency Misty Step Dimension door gone. And then he would have eventually teleported to us, but hopefully we could have figured something out by then.
It is very challenging as a dungeon master to control entities from a time stream that does not take into account past or future. It is all the same, because I kind of have more omniscience than most characters. So
Yeah.
the fact that he was predicting these events was very difficult to orchestrate.
I think it was pretty clear. Like you knew what he was going to know, so, and you knew that it was going to come down to a fight where he would either kill my character or get killed.
Yeah. And
It was tough because he made a very convincing argument.
Well, no, but I mean, like, if he had succeeded in killing my character, who knows what would have happened then, because he still might have been destroyed by you guys afterwards, since, especially because Morgan was ordering to just knock me out. If the angel was going to kill me if you guys knocked me out, he was going to keep attacking me.
That is true. He was going to kill Cale.
Yeah. I was gonna go on the technicality that, actually that brings up a question, Drew. If I'm given an order, I cannot do. For example, use the ranged attack, but don't lethally kill someone. What is the? Do I not take the damage if I cannot physically do that, or does that automatically trigger Gias? Can he order me to do something I can't do in order to trigger the damage?
Well, no, I think that if you're given an order that you can't carry out, there's something happens with the Gias that is against him, not you. Like, it ends or something like that. Let's see here. Yes, you place a magical command on a creature that you can see within range, forcing it to carry out some service or refrain from some action or course of activity as you decide. If the creature can understand you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you for the duration. While the creature is charmed by you, it takes 5d10 psychic damage each time it acts in a manner directly counter to your instructions, but no more than once each day. A creature that can't understand you is unaffected. You can issue any command you choose, short of an activity that would result in certain death. Should you issue a suicidal command, the spell ends. You can end the spell early by using an action. Remove curse, greater restoration, or wish can also end it. Actually, it doesn't state it directly here. I thought there was something that said... I think I'm thinking of command. I think command says if it can't accomplish it, it just fails.
Yeah, I think that the only way to resolve it really is to just do what you said, because really you were told to follow orders, and then he gave an impossible order, and you notified him to the best of your ability that's impossible. So,
okay, that's the way I kind of felt it should work. Like, jump this high. I can't jump that high.
One word command. The target must succeed on wisdom saving throw. The spell has no effect if the target is undead, if it doesn't understand your language, or if your command is directly harmful to it. Some typical commands you might issue, other than one described here. DM determines how the target behaves. If the target can't follow your command, the spell, if the target cannot follow your command, the spell ends. But that's for command, which is a level 1 enchantment.
Right. The other thing is each time it acts in a manner directly counter to your instructions.
Yeah.
So, if I fired my bow near you, but didn't hit you because he told me not to do it lethally, that might be another way I could interpret that. It's not counter to his commands, but it's not exactly what he, that was the goal, is to just twist his words the best of my abilities to not kill you.
Yes, for some reason, isn't direct mind control.
No.
Even though it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be way more powerful.
It's actually
It's not very powerful in this edition, though.
No, it's
No.
really weird. Like, the first time when he's like, I throw my arrow, I was about to say, I think you have to actually shoot your bow at me.
The angel was more concerned with the fact that he didn't want you to attack Morgan, because he figured Morgan would be on his side when he confronted Cale. And he wanted to wait until Cale was weakened to confront him.
Yeah.
That's why he started telepathically talking to you guys. When Cale
To let you know about the trap and not to let me know about it. Trust me, I know what was going on.
I was trying in the beginning when I was talking about trying to hand you a note or something. My goal was to secretly write a note to you without the angel knowing that I think he wishes you harm. Something's up with that trap, but I couldn't do it without starting to raise his suspicion.
Well, just remember that there are other ways to you learn passing notes in school.
Right, and that's something I need to work on.
You're just like, hang on, you might need this spell scroll down there.
Yeah. No, I just couldn't think of anything at the moment, and so if I can't think of anything on the spot, my character can't think of anything on the spot.
Yes, I know how it works. Practice.
Or at least that's the way
Practice
I
makes
suppose. I suppose if my character's highly intelligent, I could ask Drew to roll an intelligence roll to see if my character's smarter than me. But
I mean, your character there's always a possibility that your character knows something you don't know because of their background.
yes, he
As a thief, he's probably better at secretly passing notes than you are because you're not a rogue.
Yeah, no, I'm not. So I might do that next time if I can't think of something witty to do.
Rely on your GM. Ask us questions. Because we want your character to succeed at the things your character wants you to do. What your character wants to do. Shut up.
This episode of D&D, the characters will play the players.
Shut up. It's not that we don't delight when players and characters fail at what they're trying to do, but we do want you to succeed.
Trying to think about this.
As long as the failure is spectacular in some way, then we enjoy it.
Thinking this is some kind of riddle. My riddle senses going off.
I'm glad I gauged that
senses.
correctly, that once the angel was no longer there being all judgy in the name of Pelor, the others would simmer down.
Well, I didn't have a choice.
I know, I meant Morgan specifically. You would have had to simmer up at some point if Morgan kept fighting, because he would have ordered you to.
I would have continued to find ways to subvert. Because I would have had disadvantage at attacking you, and I would have used power attack to lower my attack.
I mean, like I said, I was looking out that the first couple rolls against me were low, and then after that I had my I used a defensive stance, so everything was at disadvantage for one of the rounds. And then when I started attacking, I put up Shield of Faith, which brought my AC to 24. So I was really hard to hit.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Alright.
So,
We can end the bio break now.
Ray.
Morgan, Cale, take a look at these scribblings I have. Maybe they have something to do with...
The last time I went in there, I got burned.
It's safe as long as you do not start going down the well.
Well, it sounds like we have to go down the well, so how are we going to do that safely?
Fine, I will come to you. Take a look at the scribblings.
Are you, gonna do an etching?
I have a book.
Or
I pull
rubbing,
out.
I mean.
It's the book that is unmarked, unnamed. The unnamed book.
My cat is trying to attack the hand you're moving around on the screen.
Oh, sorry, Haha! Catch this one, cat!
That would just make it worse.
Any event.
See these depictions? I think they have something to do with that demon head up above and these statues and the Warforged being down what I would assume be on the bottom of the well.
I mean, what do you interpret these drawings to mean?
I'm not sure.
Do you have any thoughts on the matter?
But they had a way to get down there.
I gently remove the book from your hand and begin thumbing through it. I remember the descriptions of the pictures, Drew.
Yeah, it's very clear that the Warforged have some sort of depiction of safety and numbers underneath that well. And the demons are constantly depicted as the top of the page, as if to represent they think of them as above them physically.
I mean, I also took it as a menace, something that they were fighting against, something that was a harrying force against their survival.
Yes, but he's pointing out a variant interpretation based on his investigation of the physical well combined with the pictures.
Cale.
Otherwise can't show because we're not in a visual.
Right.
Cale, perhaps the Warforged have something on them that allows them to pass through the barrier. I do not wish to desecrate the dead, but...
I believe it's called being made out of metal.
Yes, I'm not made of metal, however.
I don't think that'll make them immune to acid, but he's suggesting that perhaps when the Warforged touch the well as I did, it does not trigger, as it did when I touched it.
Yes. I'm going to investigate the bodies to see if I can maybe discern something.
So you're going to go down the ziggurat, grab the bodies, and haul them back up?
No, I was just going to go down there and take a look.
Okay.
Unless, of course, someone else has a better idea.
If you don't mind, I'm just going to, recoup right here.
Understood.
If you need help with something, just come ask.
I'm good at running. I will be here if anything goes wrong.
And do try to move quietly. I don't know if those others that we saw before will come back.
They won't hear a sound, Cale. They won't hear a sound.
Clank, 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 clank.
And I will stealth on my way down.
Did you think that was weird, the way he, phrased that to me? Morgan?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
True.
Yes.
Can I request inspiration for Tristan? Because that was a really good story. I don't know if that fits under anything that you normally do, but that I don't know if he had that written down, but that was a very detailed story. Well narrated.
It does follow into his assignment. So, Cale.
I will pass it to someone else because I already have a point.
Oh.
But I appreciate the gesture regardless. Am I allowed to do that?
No. You kind of have to spend the points to keep getting them.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. I still appreciate the gesture.
And I got a 13 plus 16, 29 on stealth as I move down towards the Warforged bodies.
Okay. You sneak back down, and you come to where the Warforged are. You examine them with your dark vision.
Actually, I'm going to make a very small illumination in this room. Let's see, what do I got? Light gives off a small torch. So I'm going to cast light on a tip of an arrow, but cup it in a way that makes the light only shed upon the body that I'm investigating, as to not draw any additional attention. Also, I'm going to sneakily go over to this door and close it.
He's turning his hand into a bullseye lantern.
Yes.
You can't close the doors.
Oh, those doors. That's right. They're openings. Okay, never mind. I recant that previous statement. I'm just going to, I'm turning my hands into a bullseye lantern so that it doesn't attract additional attention. And I'm going to investigate the bodies.
You examine the bodies, and you do notice just on the underfold of many of their plates there is a drawing of different colors.
different colors.
Probably made. It looks like it's the same type of charcoal-like drawing they used on their pictures.
Okay, colors. A drawing of different colors.
One of them is colored with blues and greens, and a little bit of pink. The other is colored with more brightly, like purples and neon greens and white.
Okay. And this is on a sheet of paper, you said?
No, this is on the bodies of the Warforged on the underside of their shanks.
Oh, drawn right onto them. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Anything else I see on them?
They do not have pockets. Their weapons are plain. Are you going to like
Dissect them?
apart?
No. No. Okay. Then I will sneak back up. I will roll a separate stealth check if that's necessary.
I don't.
Well, I don't want to assume that we're safe.
It's
so
fine. It's fine. You're
Okay.
back up.
All I found was the fact that they have colors drawn upon the underneath the chinks of their shells. Somewhat vibrant colors, but other than that, no other clues as to how they are able to pass through that barrier.
Actually, I am able to pass off my inspiration, so I could technically do that before he awards me the other one.
Okay.
If Drew allowed it. So
I will.
I will ask, Morgan, do you have an inspiration point right now?
No, I do not.
Okay. Then I want to award you mine, because you acted in line with your character who would want to serve his god over aligning yourself with a player character, because that was good.
Yeah, and seriously, people, just ask for inspiration often. You can probably get it every session if you try.
It's true.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about it, but there's like, I'm just... I just don't feel quite right with that one.
The only way you will get it in this game is if you advocate for it. I'm not handing them out. You got to remind me to.
I keep forgetting to use mine, so I very much appreciate the commendation, however. And just because I didn't first try to offer it to you, Kevin, does not mean I think less of your performance. I just thought it was very important to the story right then, what Morgan did.
No, that's fine. I was just I felt like that was really good. That's all.
Thank you. Well, now the party has +1 inspiration from what it had before, so this is a net gain, so we're all happy now.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, so just so that you know, on page 125 of the player's handbook, under using inspiration. Additionally, if you have inspiration, you can award it to another player for good role-playing, clever thinking, or simply doing something exciting in the game. When another player character does something that really contributes to the story, fun and interesting, you can give up your inspiration to give that character inspiration. So that's what I did.
Okay.
There's one thing I'd like to do. You had said that the Deva had crumbled.
Yes.
Could I put a piece of it in my bag of holding?
That's a little morbid, but yes.
Well, I have a reason. A good one, too.
Hopefully Paylor knows that reason. If it's not necrophilia.
I mean, when it crumbled, you said it became statue-like, right? So it's just a
He
piece
was
of...
already statue-like.
Right. So it's a piece of stone, effectively, from a broken statue is all it would be right now, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's still part of its body, which is what I need.
Yeah.
True. Question: in this well, up above this well here, is there a similar demon statue?
There's no demon statues up here.
Isn't there like a demon face looking down over there? Right here.
You can roll religion to know what that face is. Or you can ask.
Sorry, I kind of assumed demon. I apologize. Natural 20. That's a 23. Great.
That is no sense sign. That was a great old one. The Illithid's race believe that they are extensions of his brain.
I see. Is there anything on the ceiling over where the other well is? When we passed by.
I guess that would be the roof of the cave, right?
Yeah.
And the roof of the cave you can see from here. The answer is no.
Okay, so 100% would have to be this. Okay.
So,
Think.
quick question. It is acid and not poison, correct?
Yes. That
Correct.
was acid.
Making sure.
The coloring on their chinks, did it just appear to be like made out of like a charcoal material, or was it made out of some type of like similar to
Made
the?
out of slime and fungus that they have been turning into paint. That's what all the stuff on the shelves is. It's their art studio.
All right, I have a bad idea. I take a piece
Do you
of rubble
have any other kind?
and I take some of that slime and put it over the rubble.
So you're gonna go down the ziggurat, gonna grab some random slime and fungus.
Of a similar colors as to what they were painting it with. Yeah.
Okay.
And then like I said, it's a bad idea. And then grab a item, a mundane thing. It doesn't really matter to me what it is. It's something that you could drop down a well.
How about a book?
Books.
Okay, I take a book that appears to be not important.
Is it in Draconic or the other language?
Draconic.
Okay.
Then I come back up stealthily.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bad idea, Cale.
He has a bioluminescence book in his hands.
Where did you get that?
Well, I took one of the books from the bookshelf and I covered it in this gross...
Garish neon colors.
One of the ones on the guy?
No, this is a book on some kind of journal on tests and experiments or something.
What? Give me that. I
Okay,
open the book. It's in Draconic. I can read it. What's it about?
It's a book that is on the history of Draconia.
And what is its condition?
It's in horrible old condition.
Could Mending possibly fix this book?
Mending is a spell.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I take an arrow.
I'm like, wait a minute. You want to destroy this history of Draconia? Why would you do that? Have I ever seen a volume, an edition of a book like this, or is this like a unique handwritten account? I mean, they'd all be handwritten.
This is handwritten.
Yeah.
Like this is
someone's journal, basically.
This belongs in a museum.
Dreythor, I think this is exactly the kind of thing the Arcanomox want upstairs, you know, in the museum.
It was one of the ones we decided to leave behind, so...
Because
Doesn't mean it's not
books are
important.
heavy, but we don't need to destroy them.
Okay.
I understand your thinking. Good thinking. I'm gonna preserve. Morgan, Morgan?
I'm going to drop an
Yeah.
arrow down.
I open the bag.
I gently set it inside so that it begins drifting with the other items.
Right. So I dug the arrow in the bioluminescence.
So you go all the way back down, dug the arrow in the bioluminescence,
Yeah.
come on back up.
I look a little bit annoyed, but it's okay.
Okay, and so what's the thinking here? You believe this bioluminescence is going to prevent the acid from attacking?
Perhaps. There's only one way to find out.
I
No
go
risk.
quickly out of the room.
You're already out of
Right.
it.
Okay.
That's why I keep saying it's gonna be fine. And I make a ready action to dash, and then I drop the arrow down the well, so that as I'm dropping it, I immediately dash out of the room.
Okay. I'll let you do that.
Okay. And I wait for a reaction.
Don't you have mage hand? Why would you risk doing it by hand?
Vitriolic, that is a good point. Vitriolic acid flies out of the front of the volcano,
Volcano.
spewing into the lake like a terrifying fountain
Well,
that you're standing on.
That didn't work.
Should we consider checking the other rooms?
Perhaps.
I saw one that looked like an arts and crafts room that was halfway down the ziggurat.
I'm going to remain here and just keep thinking about this. I don't know. I just have a feeling there's something I'm missing.
I mean, clearly there is something we're missing. Try praising Il Sensine before climbing on the well.
How far up is this demon eye thing above me?
The elder god who is depicted.
The elder god. Yeah, the elder depicted elder god.
Well, each story is 2 stories up, so it would be 25 feet up.
And you said, did you say its eyes were glowing?
Yes.
Its eyes glow faintly, and they grow brighter when the thing is rushing, as do all the eyes of the illithids around the room.
I could try to spell magic, but I doubt it would work.
I mean, do you think detect magic might help us, Morgan? It might be a warding spell.
It's worth a try.
We could wait to 10. While you're doing that, I can go check the other rooms. That's you again.
I will start casting detect magic.
Alright, what's in this door?
And there you see what was once an opulently decorated room filled with places to hold hollowed out skulls. The skulls remained, but there is writing in Draconic in the bioluminescence when you enter the inside of the room, just saying "in memoriam" to those we betrayed.
Are they all humanoid skulls?
Most of them are so the skulls. There's actually not really any humanoid ones so much as unless you count Minotaur and Gnolls as humanoid. But there are skulls also of grotesque demons, and then at the top row, there are skulls of mind flayers, and those do not have borne out holes in them, unlike all the others.
Do these borne out holes resemble the ones we saw in that dream?
Yes.
Oh, fun.
They also resemble the head wounds of the orcs that attacked you at the beginning of this campaign.
Oh, fun.
Yep.
I say again, none of the mind flayers have those.
Right.
Some of them have caved-in faces or skulls, as if they took weapons to them. Some, things that you're used to seeing on cadavers and remains.
Yeah.
Things like, you can clearly see an axe wound here,
Right.
a stab wound through the eye socket there. Like, they died from weapons as opposed to whatever was boring out the skulls of these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Is there any other writing beyond in memoriam to those we betrayed, or is that the extent of the information?
That is the extent of the information.
Okay, and you
That is
say...
written in Draconic,
Right.
by hand,
Right.
in the bioluminescence on the inside of the...
So it's like they arranged bioluminescent moss. It's not like they carved it and then smeared bioluminescence on top of it.
No. They're taking the moss and fungus and slime, and they're grinding it up to make paint.
Right.
They're using that paint.
And it's just painted straight onto the wall.
Yes.
Okay. And all of the bored-out skulls are things like minotaurs and demons.
Yes.
Okay.
And gnolls.
And gnolls, yes.
I think you should try eating one of the gnolls.
I'm not going to do that. So I'll go around. Let's check out this door here, which is one floor below.
Here you see a room that has like a central stone shrine of some kind, and it is covered with like different types of cloth. They seem to have been rolled up and placed ceremoniously in the middle of the room.
But there don't appear to be any living creatures, and does the place look lived in, like something inhabited this place? This particular room, I mean to ask.
Perhaps. It is originally of alien construction, though, so who are you to know what these things enjoyed as objects?
Fair point. So, there's a shrine and rolled-up clothes that appear to have been placed...
Well, it's not so much it's not a shrine like in the corner. It's like the entire middle 4 squares or 5 squares of the room is like a big table.
Like an altar.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything, like candles or incense or daggers or skulls or anything that would give some indication of the kinds of things that were done at the shrine?
Good question. The shrine is covered with neatly rolled and folded clothing.
Okay.
And next to them are bizarrely jeweled daggers, almost like ceremonial daggers that they have.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to take one of these bizarrely jeweled daggers.
It looks like it is not designed for a human's hands to grip it.
Interesting. My experience with illithids would appear to match one of their hands.
Yes.
Okay. Basically, what you're saying is I wouldn't be able to use this in combat.
No, I'm saying you can. I'm just saying that it's not designed for you.
Okay.
Kind of like how Dragonborn weapons are not really designed for humans, but humans can wield them with no penalty.
Ah.
Elvish weapons have a design that's different from human weapons, but you can wield Elvish weapons with no penalty.
Oh, okay.
It's
I wasn't
just
certain.
different aesthetic.
Sure.
Drew, how far down is the wall, approximately?
I mean, how deep does it look like it goes?
Yes.
Through the entire ziggurat and a little below it.
Pretty tall. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ceremonial dagger clothing. This was not the art room. Alright, let's check out this one. 3 below the top.
Here, you actually see what look like it looks like it was originally carved out shrine like in the room above, but there's cloth or hide laid over the table, and it says in Draconic that when you come in the room, when you turn around and you look up, you see the 3 laws of Warforged.
The fourth one wasn't take a chance the 4th law?
3rd law.
It is the 3rd law. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was included or not. Okay, so it is as I thought. That at least seems to confirm that the ones painting these things in Draconic were the Warforged. So the Warforged believed that they betrayed the ones with the bored out skulls. I'm glad I understand that much. And so you said it's another table, but with a leather covering, and that the 3 laws of Warforged are up there. Are there any other important items in this room, or just this leather tablecloth?
Are you going to, like, physically move anything, or are you just looking?
Mostly I've been just looking, but if there's, like, some reason to believe that maybe something is concealed under the leather covering, I'll take a peek.
When you lift it up, you see bodies of Warforged that have parts of them disfigured or broken or caved in, and they seem to be laid here like Knights are laid to rest in catacombs.
I thought so. Okay, that's actually kind of what I expected. Weird as that might sound. Do they also possess, like, markings on them? I assume it was an individualizing thing that they did, made in moss.
If it's paint.
Yes. The luminescent paint, made in
look underneath them, and not all of them, but some of them do.
Oh, okay.
Have similar painting, and you also notice that in with them are things that could be used as gambling chits and cards.
Okay. Probably just something they enjoyed in life. Their way of taking a chance. Yes, that would make sense. Okay, I'm gonna quickly move on to this one here. 4 down from the top.
It is similar to the room you were just in.
Okay, and then this last one. 5 down from the top.
This room actually is decorated romantically. The walls are painted with pretty colors that glisten softly when you come in, and there is what appears to be another altar, but it is softened with clothes in order to make it softer and more downy.
Interesting. Not something that Warforged would likely care about.
We never looked down here.
Okay. I kind of... Oh, yeah, no, good point. That's a wall there. So...
Bless you.
Excuse me. You said it was basically, the chamber, the walls glisten, is what you said.
Yep.
Now, is that with slime or with a more worldly material?
It's the same paint. It's all the same paint.
Okay. But you said that there was clothing in here that looked like it had been softened to make it soft and comfortable.
They took a shrine and they put layers and layers of cloth and hide on it to make it soft like a bed.
Oh, okay.
And they romantically decorated the walls.
I suddenly decided I don't need to know.
Drew.
Yes.
I want to use Mage Hand and see if I can loosen the eyes of the demon, or the Illithid god face up there.
Well, it is a mosaic, so you may pick at it with your mage hand. They are not coming up.
Okay. Oh, it's a mosaic. Gotcha. I misread
Is there anything written in Draconic around this entryway or inside the love chamber?
Good question. It would say over the top threshold, take a chance.
Oh god. Okay. What about this door? This final one, 6 down from the top.
In this room, you do see more makeshift easels made of tanned hide, as well as paper or parchment collected and found and kept safe in here on shelves.
If I thumb through them, do I find mostly images or writing?
They're empty.
So this is like the storage closet, and then the other one I looked in was the actual art room.
Right.
Got you. Okay. So I'm gonna come back up. I imagine that was more than enough time for him to finish his spell.
Yep.
I still have the jeweled dagger, so I'll just say, here, take a quick look at this.
I take a quick look at it.
Detect magic goes off. It is not magical.
Okay. Then I will pluck the plain ass-looking dagger from the scabbard on my belt, and I will replace it with this cooler-looking one, and toss the other dagger in my backpack.
Okay.
So,
I just imagine you doing this to stab into the heart of an elephant.
Hey, this is one of
Like
those
Jack
ritual
Sparrow.
daggers you use, right?
hey Dreythor, you done tinkering in there?
I can't seem to figure out what the trick here is. Have you finished your ritual?
Yes, do me a favor and stop messing with things so I don't get poisoned or acid burned to death.
You won't as long as you don't go into the well.
I think the verb is scourge.
As you round the area, you sense conjuration school emanating from the well.
Alright, does it...
You also sense divination.
Oh, good.
It is similarly illuminated through the statues and the mucosa. Like this entire room is designed to be part and parcel of that fountain.
Alright. I will mention that to the rest of the party.
Yeah, I thought so. Part and parcel. That it has conjuration and divination magic, and that it's all one big ritual cast on the area. Is that what you said?
I didn't say the word ritual.
Sorry.
I just said that the room's statues, mosaic, and well have divination and conjuration.
It sounds to me like somebody might be able to look upon this area and see who's using it. Can you just undo their spells?
Hmm?
Hey Dreythor, you're the Arcanima. Can you just, dispel magic?
Dispel magic. That is not a spell I have prepared.
You're not a ranger, you're not a mage.
Dreythor, I hate to break it to you, but when the cleric has what are also arcane spells prepared than you, you've done something wrong.
I'm not the person they send to get rid of spells or disseminate what is magical. I am more or less the infiltrator they would send in.
So, from my understanding to detect magic, from
Dispel minor.
detect and dispel magic, can I, would it be feasible I could dispel this?
If it is a spell,
But there's no way to know that without casting it?
I think
you can roll Arcana or Religion, depending on what the source of magic is.
Can I roll both?
Yes.
we're gonna start with religion. It rolled well for once. That would be a 21.
This is not a religious spell.
Figures.
So that roll lets you actually determine that this seems to be a physical artifact. This ziggurat is created to facilitate this room magically. It's not a spell, it's the building.
Okay, so it acts more like a magic item than a spell.
Right.
Okay. I'll roll Arcana just in case anyways. 9. I think. Yeah, 9.
It's not any arcane spell you've heard of.
Okay.
I have another bad idea. This time it won't set up a trap.
I stay
Hold up.
outside the door.
Before you go fiddling with anything else, I can't dispel it. The whole building is what generates the magic. We're basically standing in a giant magic item.
And we have to solve it.
Indeed, but from the sounds of it, well, from the looks of it, it's controlled by something that can see the area. So the only way I know to solve it would be to deal with the man behind the curtain, whose location that we do not know.
I have, like I said, another bad idea.
Say, don't show.
Alright, be right back. Actually, hold on one sec. I start rifling through my backpack to see what I have in it, and
Gotta throw some lint in the well.
Did you not hear what I said? Say, don't show. Tell me what the plan is. Don't just go do it.
I know, but my plan is to cover the eyes. I'm sorry. I want to cover all the eyes of all the statues. If it doesn't do anything, then it's just a waste of 5 minutes. If it does
As
something,
you
then-
walk out, I'm like reeling out strips of fabric from my backpack. They're all very colorful and look like they're roughly cut on one edge.
Those would work.
What are those?
But they'll work for what? These will work for what? I was gonna make a scarf.
Cover the eyes. Cale, would you mind handing some of those over? I'll give them back if they don't work.
All right, how many do you need? I don't have much.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 32.
32.
I'm interested in knowing how you're going to cover Elsaustein status with this.
He's just gonna like summon 2 mage hands and just cover him.
I'm going to chew on some of the fungus, hope it's like bubble gum, and then stick it to the roof.
By the way,
You
Drew,
become intoxicated. You mean poisoned? No.
Drew,
Yeah.
earlier I had asked if Mending could repair these old books.
Yeah, I think mending can.
Alright. If it can, while he tries whatever his idea is, I will attempt to repair the books.
I love the idea, but I actually think it can't. Because I think mending... I'm gonna read the description, but I think it does not fix wear and tear.
It doesn't say anything about it specifically that I saw.
It repairs a single break or tear in an object, so no, it will not. It will not solve the problem of the degradation of the pages.
Well,
True.
I was thinking to just take it 1 tear at a time.
But it's not torn. It's just old.
Drew.
Alright.
Yeah.
Roughly how big are the heads on the statue?
They are.
Actual size, or?
No, they're taller than illithids are, so they would be a little bit larger than illithids are.
Okay, so...
Like the size of, not counting the tentacles, like the size of a physio ball.
What's a physio ball?
Medicine ball.
Oh, okay. That's roughly, what, 3 feet? 2 feet circumference?
Well, a smaller one of those. It's like 2 feet circumference.
Okay. So I take out 50 feet of hempen rope, and I cut appropriate lengths.
For what?
To tie the blindfolds over them. And I'm
So wait, you're going to put the strips on their face and then use a rope to hold them in place.
correct.
Okay, you're going to need like how many feet of let's see, like
I have 100.
3 feet of rope per head.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 1, 2.
Why are you calling each statue twice? I could get both eyes with one strip.
Yeah, and you would have 5 feet of rope left.
Okay. Yep, that's fine.
So you now have 5 feet of hempen rope.
Yep, and 50 feet of silk rope. I'm still good.
Okay.
All right. I do that, and then on the last one, I use Mage Hand to hold up the strip over the mosaic that their eyes are also lit. Does that work?
No, because Mage Hand is still a hand, so you can't hold it up over 2 huge eyes of a giant mosaic over your head.
Oh, okay, I need 2 spots. Okay.
Dreythor, I can make you a bandana if you want one. It'll be colorful.
How much weight can Mage Hand do?
It used to be 5 pounds. I don't know if it's still.
I'm pretty sure it's still 5 pounds.
It's either 5 or 10 now. I think it actually made it 10.
Alright, how far apart are the eyes? Like 10 feet, 20 feet?
Probably around 10 feet.
Okay. Blanket weighs 3 feet, 3 pounds. Need something that's stiff that weighs 2. Damn, shovel weighs 5.
Just throw the shovel at the ceiling.
What's that?
Throw the shovel at the ceiling.
Would the shovel properly cover the eyes?
No.
Oh.
It's a shovel.
Well, one side would, I'm sure.
But you need to cover both eyes.
I know! God damn it!
Hey, Drew, you said that all the statues have their hands and tentacles raised. Is that raised straight forward or raised toward the heavens? Because when you said hands raised in a warding gesture, that usually means straight out in front of you.
Hang on, I will show you.
Mm-hmm.
So, how long have these shenanigans been going on for?
10
This is
minutes?
probably taking some time.
I mean, I've been sitting there just, like, doing shit with the little strips of cloth I have. I assume that if we're going to sit long enough for a short rest, I'll at least be able to benefit from it. I did 10 minutes of investigation, and then I just sat down and started fucking with things in my backpack.
I am really surprised that I can't find a cuttlefish opening its mouth. Because that's a thing they do. They all gather together and open their mouth and face the same direction.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And not creepy at all.
Drew, down in the area of the books, was there anything that would be like a plank I could use?
Yes, the shelves. You could rip one of the shelves off the wall and use it.
Alright, I do that. I get a 10-foot piece. And then
Okay, you will hear him snap a shelf off.
What do you think he's doing?
You notice that I'm, like, rudimentarily, like, wrapping the cloth together and, like, if I can, like, just sort of weaving it a
I would
little
actually
bit.
say, as I'm walking by, hey, that looks pretty good.
I just sort of shrug. I'm like facing out toward the town again, just sitting there like legs akimbo.
Oh, here. Here, I got it.
I found a couple images, but I couldn't find an image of more than one doing it.
Alright, I got a board. If this doesn't work, well, then it's just not gonna work.
Okay, well, it's just, they open and sprawl out. They're not all in one direction.
Right.
Cuttlefish generally tend to open the middle two or one.
Yeah, I did see images of that.
But they do that first, and then they open the others, depending on how aroused they are by what's there.
Oh, God.
No, it's not sexual.
Sounded like it was.
Alright, anyways, Drew.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
I put the board over the mosaic, guys. Does that do anything?
So you're going to use Mage Hand to hold the board up over the mosaic sides?
I would have grabbed a board of appropriate weight.
Okay, so you see him come up like a carpenter with this huge
I assume he's building a catapult to launch himself into the slime. I'm not worried about it.
And you see him levitate it up and cover the eyes of Ilsausine's image.
Does that... Do I see the field dissipate?
No.
Alright. Well, that goes that theory. On the plus side, we now have a board.
We can surf the stream as it flows.
Alright. Feeling failed at my attempt of figuring this out, I take all the blindfolds off and then return them to Cale.
I begin weaving them into my scarf.
And then I start casting mending to put the rope back together.
Would you like a whole bunch of 3-foot ropes?
I'm taking each end of the 3-foot, I hold them together and cast mending and put the 50-foot rope back together.
You may do so over and over and over.
Yep.
That'll take a little bit of time, but you can do it.
As I'm doing it, I say, well, I'm running out of ideas.
Well,
Oh, it's a
if we can't
cantrip.
go through, we could see if we can find a way around.
As in another entrance to the well.
Either another entrance, or we could try and make our own.
You're telling me that the angel didn't tell you anything more about this trap except to let me walk into it.
Yes, and at the time I didn't even know it was a trap. Just said let you go first.
What a day.
Alright. Morgan, come with me.
I will follow at a little bit of a distance, but that will be mandatory if he's running, because I can't possibly keep up with that nonsense.
You know, we
This
can...
running nonsense.
Look, we can also use the wish to give you longer legs. Just think about it, okay? Here, grab his other arm.
Just so you know, that is sacrilegious for most dwarves, considering Moradin made them literally in his image.
While they're doing that, I have another poor experiment to do.
I will attempt to help grab one of the broken down Warforged.
And I take another arrow and I use mage. My goal is I'm going to use mage hand and hold the arrow in the field to see if the trap triggers multiple times.
So you're just gonna hold it there?
Yeah, I'm going to be out of the way because I could be like back here while holding it.
I need to roll a chance die. Morgan and Cale, which of you is feeling lucky?
What do you mean? They're inside.
Cale. Always Cale.
Okay.
True.
Yes,
They're inside. That can't be hit by it.
they're not inside.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What do you need me to do, Drew?
I need you to roll a d12. If you get a 1, you are going to be standing at the wrong spot.
Yeah,
of the
and have
fountain.
acid rain down on us, I know.
This is why you're talking about plans instead of just doing them.
Here's a
Just don't
D12.
understand if you're in the ziggurat going around in circles.
All
Not
right.
in it. You have to go on top of the
D12
ziggurat.
roll, go! Well,
Yeah.
I got a 3. That's not a 1.
Okay. Yeah, you're walking on the exterior of the building to go up.
Oh! I thought. Oh.
So, we're like, you know, here, when a gout of acid goes... It's like, well, that was close.
Sorry. I'm doing some testing.
Let him on life, Clark. I'd throw you off that cliff.
Arrow re-trigger.
Oh, God.
In the meantime, with all these shenanigans, though, I will allow you to have taken a short rest.
Oh, my God, thank goodness. I'm so for rolling some hit dice here.
Yep. Also, does Cale have any complaints about how long it took us to move that robot since we were moving at dwarf speed?
No, I don't care. I asked for your help. The robot felt even heavier than you would have thought it did. Thought it would, I should say.
Because Cale didn't lift his side. He just
That's not why.
It's totally why.
Think what you want. Let's see here. How many hit dice do I have remaining? Do.
So you do hear this screeching as they get up to the top. Right door.
Okay.
Hold on. I just need to...
What are you?
Wait, that's annoying. Let's stop that for a second.
True. Did
Yeah.
the while holding the arrow in there, did it re-trigger?
Yes.
Okay, then I would have let go of the arrow after it triggered twice. Now that I know
Well,
the
really, now that I think about it, I would have just destroyed the arrow after it triggered once.
even the metal part, the metal tip.
Yeah.
Oh,
Around here. Here we go. Short rest. Don't reset maximum HP. Oh.
are you guys dragging up? Oh, what are you doing with the warp?
So too with the board that was inside be destroyed.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's some good wood.
It only took some of my hit dice, not all of them, and I'm at decent health again.
Alright.
I am at full health again too.
I'm using, a bunch of hit dice.
I used 6.
Okay, I'm not using quite that many.
I could have gotten away with just using 5, but I'd rather get to full.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Too bad my Heldorf HP bonus does not apply when rolling hit dice.
Hit dice, the poor man's healing.
I mean, it is.
Hey, it's effective. Say that for a lot of healing in this game.
Well, I'm not at full, but I'm far better off than I was. My hit dice didn't roll impressively, unfortunately.
I got an 8. I got an 8. I got a 4. I got a 4. I got an 8. I
So
got a...
what are you doing now that you're up top with the body?
Okay. I'm gonna
Cal?
drag it in there with Morgan's help.
From the sounds of it, it's just Morgan that's been dragging it.
I'm staying far away here.
Alright. Now.
I will point out that the whole room does fill with the acid when you trigger it.
Yeah. I don't know a better way to do this.
Wait.
What?
I have a better way.
Okay. What is your better way, Dreythor?
I'll be right back. Just take a 5.
Do you think he actually has a better way?
No.
And I tear out 5 more boards.
So you completely destroy their entire room.
Fuck your bookshelf.
Destroying all the books that...
No, I moved the books to another bookshelf or whatever.
Personally, I would
There's that table.
Personally, I would have taken the tabletop. Then it looks like it's exactly the right size to fit over the wall.
Yeah, they kind of ramshackled the shelves there. You're going to just get rid of their shelving. There's no place to put the books.
I put the books on the table.
Okay.
Or you could leave the shelves and take the table.
Too late. He
I've
made his
dedicated-
decision.
I've made my decision. Alright. Now, carefully now, and I slowly lay the boards across the pit without actually putting them into it,
Okay.
We're all
'Cause
gonna die.
without the field,
I
obviously
will
staying
live.
away from the field. And then before I did that, I actually took some rope and I tied it to the various ends of the board.
I don't know what you mean. Tied what to what?
I think he's trying to tie a rope around the end of the board so that he can pull on it.
And it turns it into a ramp. So I tie the boards together and then a rope to the end of the board so you could, like a sled, I could just pull it out from underneath them.
Well, point of fact, you can't really lash planks of wood together like that. They will just bend when you move them.
I think he wants
I'll be
to
right back.
lay the board across the top of the well, put the warforged on top of the piece of wood, and then from a distance, using the rope, pull the wood out from under it. So that
Well, yes, but they're just bookshelves. They're like a foot wide. They're not going to support the body of a warforged.
Gotcha.
Oh, I misunderstood. Then I'm going to grab the table. I'll move the books onto the floor, and then I'll be right back.
I
come
now
up with a
feel the
table.
need to take these shelves and go mend them back onto the wall.
Don't have time
I
for
will-
that, Morgan.
I put the table across the pit, being careful, and then tie a rope onto the leg
So-
of the table.
So the table's upside down, covering the well, because the table is larger than the opening of that well.
Yeah, that's fine. Long as it creates a sled type condition for me to.
Okay, I need you to make a strength check to make sure you don't accidentally tip part of the table into the well's top.
If it's that heavy, then I'll ask Morgan for help.
Someone has to make the strength save.
Then I suppose I can, if I'm allowed.
You may.
You would have advantage because I'm helping, correct?
You guys got this, I say from the doorway.
Yes.
True. Okay.
Some show of faith you got there. Could you stand on the opposite side of the doorway? Just get a little closer. Well, actually, yeah, that'll do. So I'm within 10 feet of Cale
No,
now,
I
right?
get it now. I did not understand at first. Still not feeling it. Okay, now I feel it. Stop.
Okay. Okay, the advantage did not matter because I rolled a 9 both times. So.
Plus
9.
3 from me.
So 9 plus 6, 15.
You successfully lay the table on the top.
Okay. All right. And I hold the ropes that are tied to the legs, and I go around the corner, and
And I get the heck out of there before he has a chance to pull anything.
I want to understand what you're doing still, because all you did was put an inverted table over the top of the well.
oh.
And there's a
Okay.
body next to the table and next to the well. Just
Oh,
like,
okay. So
Did you put the warforged on the table?
I will put the Warforged on the table.
well, how are you going to do that? because the table's legs are sticking straight
So
off.
there's only 2 legs. The other 2 are I was gonna break off so that when you pull it, they don't pull the body with it, obviously. So.
Oh, okay. I understand.
So it'd be
And
like
the flowers are
sled.
still standing.
Sorry, that's what I meant by a sled, like kind of like that, where.
Alright, make a strength check then to lift the Warforged onto the table in such a way that the table doesn't slide out.
Wait, Morgan, let me help you with that.
Can I cast guidance on myself since I know I'm going to be doing this? All right.
So you have guidance and advantage for me.
So I don't think guidance applies to saves.
You said it was a strength check. You didn't say save.
You did say check.
Oh, so I'll allow it.
I'll take either one because it's either a +3 from
I'll-
Cale or a +D4 from me.
I will accept either.
Then I think I'll go for +3 because I don't trust my own rolls. So, I got a let's see, 22.
You succeed.
Okay.
You now have the Warforged, 2 legs facing the door side, a rope tied to one of the legs. The Warforged is on the table with 2 legs broken off.
So, if we
the-
build a great wooden badger...
It'll start spawning orcs.
The ropes actually intertwine between the 2 legs so that it's even pull, so the table doesn't go cockeyed when you try to do it. But
Okay, because we wouldn't want that.
what's that?
We wouldn't want that.
Right.
No cockeye tables around here.
All right, Morgan. I hand you the reins. You need a strong pull for this, and I stand far back.
Okay. Gonna.
Also,
Before I pull this, what's the plan here? We're dropping a body in a pit of acid.
I
Well,
am going
so-
to assume Cale thinks that they don't trigger the trap.
I point at him.
Okay then. Here goes. So it's a strength check or something, I assume. If it's a strength save, 15.
But you pull on the table, and the body slides partially in. This is like its arm flops in, and then you pull the whole body off the well on the table.
Does acid come gushing out?
No.
Oh.
So now what?
Get inside the Warforged.
We're gonna
And
have to
climb
do
down wearing it.
something which I didn't want to do.
I just want to point out you could have tested this by laying the body next to the hole and using Mage Hand to lift its arm up into the.
Wait, we have the ability to cast what?
You never seen it. It's invisible.
I didn't see
yeah.
anything. I was weaving a scarf. Did you see my scarf? It's very colorful.
Nicely done, Cale.
Thank you.
Is anybody good with disassembling machinery?
I mean, I'm really good at disassembling just about anything you put in front of me as long as I can use a sword to do it.
I mean, I'm good with smith's tools, but that's about as far as this goes.
I pulled a claymore off my back. I'm like, see? This is my implement.
Okay. I'm
I call
going
it
to
the
work on the
You're just going to spend hours running up and down a ziggurat.
I love it. This is how I
This is
wanted
how
to
they
spend
do
my
it.
life.
Listen, this is my fitness training, okay?
Cale,
Who
do
did-
you have a plan? Because I don't think he has a plan.
We
My
probably
plan is
have
to
to...
throw every single item into this room one at a time.
We
Alright.
probably have to do something to the fucking statues with their arms or shit to turn it off. I don't know. That's how
I'm
other
gonna
puzzles I've solved worked.
I really wish this one had some
I
writing.
mean, the
or-
last one I dealt with had a sphinx that asked us questions, so, you know, that wasn't so bad. There's nobody here.
All right,
Why don't you
let's take a
ask
look at these
whoever is
statues.
scrying on this place?
Because I don't know how to do that.
Mm.
Besides, divination is just detection. They may not be able to see directly.
So, I don't know. I'll just go and grab the Warforged and jump into the well with him.
Are you serious? You're gonna just do that?
I mean, what have I got to lose at this point? I mean, other than my
Your
life.
Well, are you jumping, or are you going to, like... I'm a little confused, because you have the arm and...
I think that I'm going to just hang his body over it so that he's, like, kneeling next to it and sinking his upper torso through it. See what happens when I do that.
Well, it's easier to just, like, dunk his arms in. If
Sure,
that's
sure.
what
Yeah. Do that.
you do so.
Okay. Does
Arms
anything
are
change
now-
about the room?
No.
Okay. Stand back, guys. With his arms still in the well, I'm going to put my own arm into the well.
Nothing happens.
I am going to climb over him with his arms still in the well and try to descend.
You may descend.
I descend!
You alive?
So what are you doing, Dreythor?
I disassemble
Cale?
one of the
It's safe.
pieces of the actual
Just don't move
other
the body.
Warforged that's down here, and I take some of its shell off and kind of make it.
Oh, man.
This seems to be working. I'm gonna follow you.
Okay.
So basically, I just make a.
You
like,
make yourself a suit of Warforged armor.
No. Just a glove.
You chop his hand off, pull out whatever's inside, and just slip it over your hand.
I attempt to just take it apart, assuming I can figure out how to.
But in order to make a glove, you have to have cloth or leather. So,
I have both.
So wait a minute. I want to get this straight now. You're going to take cloth, sew it into a glove after you cut it appropriately. Then you're going to rivet the Warforged
No,
onto it.
I'm just taking. So Warforged have different layers, right? You can take their outer layer, that's their armor, and then they have inner mechanical workings.
Yeah, you can take their skin off and see what's inside.
Yeah, so I take the skin of his hand off, and then just wrap it around my hand as if to have.
You really hate these Warforged, don't you?
He's dead.
Okay.
Yeah, cause of you!
Here's the thing, though. It's still bolted onto, like, wood and other metal underneath. It's like disassembling the Terminator, only it's not skin on the outside, it's Robocop skin.
Oh.
It's like ripping apart Robocop is a better analogy.
What is this problem with the Warforged, man?
I have a problem. I just need to get in the hole.
Remember, Solgoth enslaved them, and they're not people, okay? I mean the ones from Solgoth.
You're not there. You don't see what I'm doing.
I
When you come back with a 12-mail robo-bits, we'll have a pretty good idea.
Listen to what he comes back with.
Yeah, no. We're just gonna be standing up.
Pop his chest and wear that.
We get down to the bottom, and we're just gonna wait for him. You want to play some Gwent? I brought my deck.
All right, I will just chop off his
Sure,
hand.
you're
then.
gonna teach me how to play, though.
All right, not a problem.
What?
I'll take off his hand.
Okay, you do so.
You can have
And
half
I
of
put
my
that,
deck.
I wrap it in one of the blankets I have, and then put that in my bag for the time
Do you
being.
have blankets?
I do have a winter blanket and a regular blanket.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
You
dude,
put it in
might
your
get
bag.
cold.
His backpack is very comfortable as a pillow when it's fully stuffed.
It really is. I have a lot of stuff in there. I even have string if we need
And
it. Chop.
you come back up top,
And then I come back up top.
and everyone's gone.
Morgan,
Down here!
how did you get down there?
You see that there
We
is a
jumped.
Warforged kneeling next to the well with both of his arms in the well.
Well, that was easy. All right, I go down the. I carefully descend into the well.
So, what did you come back with exactly?
What do you mean?
I mean, he's wearing it, isn't he? Aren't you wearing your RoboCop glove?
No.
What was your plan? Did it work?
I didn't really have a plan yet, but when I came up, you apparently solved the problem.
Oh, so if you didn't have a plan, you just gave up. You went down, did something, figured you had no plan, and then came back.
I was going to try to see if how to take pieces of the Warforge off, but it appears to be all bolted together. So
I mean, it was a living creature.
It was a person, man.
well, what do we see down here?
What were you gonna take off? Were you like gonna take off all of its shell and then just like wear it like armor?
No, that's takes too much time. I was just gonna.
I need to.
No, it's not because it's a crazy idea or because it's immoral. Because it takes too much time.
It's just the machine.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you.
No, it makes perfect sense.
I'm going to have to make a new table here.
Oh no!
No, my characters. I will hold on to my dice. They won't disappear on me. Aha! Everything floats.
Good luck with that.
I'll pull them off into the wild blue yonder. Whee! No! Oh, okay, they stayed together. It'd actually be funny if that worked.
Watch it crash the whole system because you're just holding it.
Well, the initiative card stays. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that is unusual. Also, north is still the wrong way. They're, the other way. Oh. Okay, all the drawing is still here.
Hang on. Load.
I have a question. Why do you reset the table every time?
So that I can draw on it.
Couldn't you just do this?
What?
It
No, because that takes forever, and you have to get every single freaking thing to. If there was just a way to erase the whole board, I would just do that.
Besides, it allows him to save multiple
You
tables.
can erase all vector lines like that.
What?
There's an erase all vectors lines button. See?
Where?
You see any lines?
But where's the button?
It's the trash can underneath the vector paint.
It's true. And then it asks you.
Perfect. Okay.
Huh. The more you know.
Do I saved the day.
Great. So, hang on here.
Oh, as a side note.
I kind of wonder why these things never came back.
Scary cleric of doom and destruction.
You mean paladin?
You
Right.
climb down the well, and
Am I a cleric of doom and destruction?
Apparently. And he's a ranger.
Yeah.
When did I become a cleric of doom and destruction?
You're obviously Morgan. You're obviously a warrior because you're a dwarf.
No, obviously I'm the bard.
Oh yes, please sing us a song.
Sing us a song, you're the bardy man. Play us some music tonight.
this reminds me of when Leslie Nielsen sang the national anthem in Naked Gun and voted the completely wrong lyrics.
I mean, for the record, I'd been planning to do the thing I did to get through it for like 20 minutes. I just wanted to see what anybody else would come up with before doing it. I really kind of wanted to just cannonball down while holding on to the Warforged because I thought that would be funny.
Yeah, and Dreythor goes and dismantles the other one to where it no longer counts. And so we're stuck up here by ourselves.
Oh, you're not stuck up there. You could come down in spite of the acid.
It seems to shoot out with a bit of force. I'm not sure we'd actually be able to get down.
Maybe.
I'm gonna turn my AC on. I'm like sweating right now. I'll be right back.
I never had it off to begin with.
Yeah, I never had it off either.
It's just still summer. AC is mandatory.
Box.
This dolphin really hates the cuttlefish.
Dolphins can be really horrible people.
No, dolphins are really horrible people. They just have good PR.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Because occasionally they get it right. And then somebody else thinks that's all they ever do.
You should find that somebody and stop them.
I'm back.
Welcome back. I'm Derek.
So, Cale.
But hang on, you don't have time to talk. Because you're going to have this conversation and get down to the bottom, because I'm going to find it very amusing. That when you get to the bottom, you see dozens of Warforged staring at you, listening to the echoes of your conversation about how it was just a machine and your plan of what you were doing.
Can you just release?
I'm dead serious. That's literally what's happening.
My side of the conversation right now.
I mean, we did.
Good luck, guys. You're on your own.
And Morgan and I did get down there first and wait for him. So the question is, what was the reaction to us getting there? Because we'll totally not tell him what's there until he gets down.
That was a good point.
As long as it's safe.
Yeah, because last I checked, we got down there, sat down, and started playing Quint.
Phew. Okay.
What do you mean it's true?
Yeah, you're still in
screwed.
trouble.
Well, okay. So you're going to intentionally incite them to attack me.
No, you are going to intentionally incite them to attack you.
By
We're
your
just not going to
inaction-
stop you from doing it.
Yeah, that's okay.
They're like, Dreythor, maybe you shouldn't. No, okay, yeah, go ahead.
To be fair, I kept trying to tell you what the...
You were the one asking me questions, to be fair, so you are intentionally inciting this if you so choose to keep
I
asking.
asked what your plan was. I didn't know what it was.
I
How is
said I
that-
went there and it's probably not going to work, and then when I came up I saw that you took the dead body of the Warforged and drooped it over the well.
Yeah. Therefore, deactivating the spell that
Right.
closed the well.
Right. Not
Right.
desecrating the dead.
Oh, yeah, because what you did was so much better.
What did I do?
Do you really not know? Seriously, in or out of character? Do you really not know?
Well, this would be a different conversation if I'm coming down and you're not asking me.
Yeah, it does have to be another conversation. So I will play it as if Dreythor is not there, and you guys get to the bottom first.
Okay.
Okay.
What did he say he was going to go do, Morgan?
I don't know. He said he had an idea.
What did he say? Did he call it a bad idea?
I mean, if he didn't, bad's assumed.
Yeah, but if he didn't call it a bad idea, that means he thinks it might work.
I don't remember if he said it was a bad idea or not. It was just an idea. So,
And he didn't tell you what it was.
nope. Which makes me kind of nervous. Because his last idea he didn't tell us about kind of almost got us showered in acid.
I mean, it didn't. But it almost
Correct.
did.
That's why I said almost. don't know about you, but I don't like acid showers. I prefer water.
Blasphemy.
So, oh, hi. Assuming this is Warforged at this point.
I just need to know where this thing lets us... Oh, there it is. Boosh!
We want to go the other way though. The other way.
Boosh!
No.
No, no.
Is that like where we're coming down or something?
Yeah, that's the well.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
Where did you think the well was?
I don't know. I'm just confused.
Initiative is still here. Boop!
Ooh.
I still can't believe nothing landed a hit on me. I feel really lucky.
You should. That stupid spell will never, ever hit anything.
I mean...
Well, thank goodness for that, huh?
Like, it's just a dexterity. It's dexterity saving throw. It's the same as any other normal attack spell.
I mean...
It just won't hit anything.
Stretching my arms across my chest, I go, well, I'm just really dexterous.
You even don't get the cover bonus.
What about it? Ugh. I'm really dexterous. Have you not seen how I climb? Did you see how I sword fight? Come on, I'm awesome. Don't blame yourself. I'm honestly glad you didn't hit me, because that would have sucked.
Alright, so there's... I'm going to need 10 Warforged pieces, if someone could get on that while I fix my mouse real quick.
Oh man, where the hell do I find something that looks like a Warforged? Wizards, barbarians...
Minotaur thing over here could just copy this. 'Cause that's what they were before. You know, copy this, shrink it down.
I mean, I can shrink it, but I can't copy-paste it.
Well, we get it to the right size and then we truth together.
Boop. And then let's put it in a different state. No. I'll just say 4 look. Yeah, that's better. And then...
The unpainted version?
Yeah.
Yeah, that supposed to make sense, being a lot more metallic in color.
I can't copy-paste it.
Well, we could rename it in one Stru's face.
That's true. There you go. Whoop. 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 Zoop. So, all 3 of us are playing Gwen.
Well, you get down and you see this. This.
Zip, zip, zip. Zip, zip. Zip, zip.
You see a fantastic sight is overhead. There are giant dragon face statues. Let's see if I can find a picture. Looming over you.
Are they looming over, like, this whole area, or is it just over this entrance?
No, it's over the entire city that you see before you.
Okay.
This city, actually gonna redesign real quick. Look at this.
Is it like carved out of the living stone kind of thing?
It actually is not.
Interesting.
It is made out of ancient Egyptian architecture type of work.
So, like hovels.
No, they're not hovels. I mean, they took big monolithic blocks,
Oh.
put them together with no mortar, and they did it so well and so precisely you can't fit a piece of paper in between them.
Well, they're robots.
Robots are people.
They're walking computers.
Yep.
What?
You see a pool of water. That is constantly dripping with a trickling stream from the mouths of each dragon on the right and on the left. There's two giant dragon heads, one on the right, one on the left, looming over here from about 200 feet up.
Okay, and so those are like carved into the ceiling kind of thing.
Yep. I'm gonna just draw where the waterfalls come down.
And it is water and not slime.
Correct.
Despite that, like, directly above those dragons was the slime area.
The slime pool. Yes.
Yeah, like the slime pool was like here and here, and
Well,
it was like...
really, it isn't. It's back to the north. The slime pool will be over where the dune stuff is.
The direction hasn't changed, and the way the town... So, like, the way we're looking at this, unless I'm mistaken, this is the well.
All right.
Huh?
Hang on. There.
Okay.
Yeah.
Relations have changed.
Yes.
That's my fault. There we go.
So, what you're telling me is that the sword that I use locate object to find is this direction, where there's yet another solid wall stopping me getting there.
No. You see, I'm going to use purple. At the end of this pool,
Mm-hmm.
that really didn't do anything. Hang on.
And how deep was that ladder, the well that we climbed down? Was it 800 feet?
Yes,
Oh, good.
a little less,
Okay.
because you got the hypotenuse, and I don't want to do math, but it's...
Yeah, it's times root 2.
Yeah.
Or 800 divided by root 2.
I know math good.
I'm just going to do this.
I mean, I know math good, but Cale doesn't know math good.
A literal sword in the stone.
Well,
In
that's convenient, isn't it?
I believe you have misunderstood what I said.
It is a pillar with various runes on it. Just like in the book, there is a place for a hand to go. And that place is right next to the sword. The sword seems to be going in between where the fingers go there. So if someone can't really see, I'll describe it.
I see what you're saying. There's a podium basically with a handprint on top, and then right slid between where the fingers go and the handprint, there is the broad blade of a claymore going down, a falchion going down. Oh god. This is either going to go really well or really poorly. Everybody think before you speak.
I try to do that already? That's... Oh my.
Yeah.
Drew, you might need to make these a little smaller.
Can,
Where did you get those?
I don't know why I'm having such trouble.
Because their axe goes into the next box, that's why.
Okay, so the ladder was only 566 feet long.
Okay, we'll call that. It doesn't. You know what it is, which is the important thing.
I mean, it's like you said, it's less than
Now,
800.
As what you see at the far side of the city is a literally a pyramid with a large stairway going up it.
Bloody hell.
Oh.
And there's a door on the other side that is open. And you see I'm going to use purple again for this. Actually, I'll use green, the Disney evil color. There is what seems to be some sort of semi-transparent, semi-opaque, because that's what semi means, wall there. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
The
this
edge of the time bubble.
has living rock on the walls going up it. That's what you see is. Really, I should make this area just. Hang on. Makes a lot more sense if I do this. If I make this not green, but blue. It takes a while to draw this stuff. It's a complex. We'll just do this. Goes all the way. We'll use the borders here to indicate the rock. So there actually is a line of the field. We'll use a circle. I think.
So we get to the bottom, look out, see this, and it's just like, well, we have good news for Dreythor.
Can't draw the circle very well because the circle tool is awful.
The circle tool is one of the worst circle tools I've ever seen.
Where do you want the circle to extend to?
I think he
Don't worry
wants the
about it.
pyramid centered in it, right?
I will use a square.
For the record, on the
There.
on the spotlight section for like the convenient made stuff for tabletop, there is like a better drawing tool thing you might be able to add on. Might be worth looking into.
That'd be cool. Because lines, squares, and circles that you can't center properly is kind of limiting.
You can center it, it's just a bit difficult. Like, it's based on, you gotta go from the left side of the circle to the right side of the circle. And you have to put the center in between, so you have to count out the squares.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's not a good way to do it. Like, if I drag my circle
I'd
from
show
this
you.
juncture here over to this juncture here, I want the circle to be there. But the problem is that as I drag the circle from this juncture here to this juncture
Where are
here,
you?
it slides with me.
Yeah, like over here on the bottom left. If I want the circle from here to here, I just go like this.
That's not how the circle works when I use it. It slides. It doesn't leave one edge where I started it.
Me
Yeah,
too.
see? It's the left side. So I start here, I slide over.
Why does? Well, it still doesn't do that. Really.
Yeah, it doesn't function that way when we use it.
What the fuck? That's weird.
So you actually see like a town built around this beautiful pool of water with these huge dragon faces coming out of the sides, spewing waterfalls down. It is illuminated from bioluminescent painting, all along with murals on the sides of the whole area, reaching up several hundred feet. Looks like they actually bothered to make murals with pictures showing showing Warforged in happiness and harmony with each other. Like they're like Disney type of images, the type of thing you would find on like the contemporary resort, where like it's a small world type stuff, only with Warforged in this town. It's like a very benevolent depiction of this town.
Everybody's happy and helping each other and doing mundane crap together. Happily.
And as you come down, you see these Warforged here with arms similarly to the ones you encountered up top, with different glyphs on their faces. And they are regimentedly looking at you. And as soon as you come down, the one in front says, "Identify yourself."
Warrior of the Dragons, Cale of Silverheadriel.
And Morgan of Palor.
State your mission.
Protect the world as commanded by the dragons. We need access to this pyramid.
Negative.
Do you not serve the dragons? I raise a hand indicating the sculptures coming from the ceiling.
We do not serve anyone.
Do you want the world destroyed? We think you included in that?
Are you threatening? Clarify.
The world is in danger. We are warriors of the dragons whose mission is to prevent it from being destroyed by its own creator god. We need access to that temple in order to prevent it from happening.
State the name of the dragons quickly.
Bahamut and Tiamat.
We don't know.
Dragon gods.
We don't know the gold
We were
dragons.
sent by two opposing dragon gods.
It would seem to be the case.
This is illogical.
It is very illogical. You're gonna have to take a chance.
Computing.
Well, you guys were down there for a while.
If you had been lying, you would have had a better lie.
I have... good point.
What is the status of your incursion?
Boy, that's a question I'm not entirely certain how to answer. We've only just been activated and need access to the temple here to receive the next orders.
Orders from Bahamut and Tiamat.
Indeed.
What reason do we have to believe that Bahamut and Tiamat will not want us destroyed?
Do you serve the Elder Gods? You don't serve anyone.
Clarify nature of Elder Gods.
Il Sunshine.
We do not serve anyone.
Well, the only people that we have a beef with are Il Sunshine, those who follow him, those who would seek to use Ao's power to destroy the world, and Shodan. So if none of those names mean anything important to you, then we have...
Il-Sensine is important to us. Il-Sensine assisted us.
Assisted you. Clarify.
Il-Sensine allowed us to colonize.
What is the status of the Illithids in this location? Elaborate.
Exterminated.
Was this at Il Sunsine's order?
Negative.
Well, that kind of sets me back a little bit.
All right, Dreythor, you you may descend.
Guys, that is one.
You might want to...
Stop there. Identify yourself.
Dreythor, Silva Heldriel.
How many of there are you?
3.
3.
Three.
I asked hit that one.
There are 3 of us.
How did you enter?
Through the well.
How?
I went down the well
How?
by holding onto the sides and slowly descending.
Empty the contents of your belongings.
Out of character clarity, is that just for him or is that in order to all 3 of us?
He's going to make all of you do it.
I'm trying to think of what
Well,
I...
this is going to take a while. As I start unloading things.
What will what we carry prove? Elaborate.
Negative. You are instructed to unequip yourself of your belongings for inspection.
What is the consequence for defying the order?
You are invaders. Until it is made clear that you are non-hostile, we will assume you are.
If they just want things to be inspected, I will just remove the bags instead of unloading them.
I sigh and place my rapier, great sword, and shield on the ground in front of me. Then lay the backpack down and begin laying out objects one at a time, which include a journal, rope, pythons, the ribbons are around my neck.
As you're doing
I'm in a
that,
scarf.
he says to you, clarify, elf. How did you descend the well?
He's talking to me, right?
You're the elf.
I went. These 2 had already went down the well. I preceded them.
Analysis, you are lying. You are hiding something. By omission, you are lying.
Can I roll deception on that, Drew?
No, because he knows you're lying.
Why, that I went down after them?
He knows that you're hiding things from him.
What's
He knows factually you are deceiving him.
Wow. Okay.
You are lying by omission.
Yeah, but I thought the whole point of deception was you just make it seem like you're not lying.
it doesn't matter. He knows factually. It's like no matter how wily you are while you're holding up a card that's the ace of spades to someone's face, you can't roll deception and say, no, really, this is a 9 of hearts.
Right, but then how did Cale and Morgan get down there? Why didn't they ask them the same question?
Because they're asking you because you are the newest on scene, so they assume that you will break whatever planned thing is happening. Like, this is an interrogation tactic.
It's true.
Oh,
It is.
okay.
But, I mean...
I was... Okay.
You know he was going to know that you're lying by omission because you figured out the trick above.
Yes. Unfortunately, the only way to figure it out is to... Yeah, okay. So there's no good answer to that question.
Mm-mm.
Alright.
Because they
Alright.
know how to get down the thing. They know the trick.
Plus, they could just look up there. Okay.
I wish I could answer.
Yes, that's exactly why they don't want you to.
Yep.
I feel like there's a good answer that I'm not thinking of.
I don't think there is.
No. There's a great answer. You just have to say it loud enough.
I cannot think of one. So they just call me a liar, basically? That was the last thing they said?
Yeah, yes.
Clarify, what is your purpose in deceiving us?
There are many of you and few of us. I do not trust you either.
State where you are from.
Originally Silva Heldriel.
Why have you come here?
I am a cursed dragon warrior sent by Bahamut and Tiamat themselves.
They will wait for you to empty your bags.
Okay. If I have to actually empty the bag, then my stuff will be like overflowing all over these like 3 squares here.
That's fine.
Okay. So, I know this is going to probably end badly, but I'm going to... I don't really... Well, if I start casting a spell, they'll know something's up. So, the only thing I could do to attempt to hide the one item I don't want them to find is to use Sleight of Hand. Can I do that to kind of try to conceal it while
Yes.
unloading my bag?
You may
Alright.
do.
I'm assuming as a infiltrator, I'll know how to do that effectively, but this probably isn't the first time I've been strip searched, but I'll attempt to do so. I'm gonna use a point of lucky.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna get me out of combat if I succeed here. Maybe. Okay, that's better. 18.
Okay. You, thinking quickly as you're emptying the bag, basically do like the magician's trick of emptying something with a slight misdirection. Use Mage Hand, while both your hands are visible, to pull it in between your legs and behind you. And then stuff it
Okay.
into your belt behind you.
Okay.
They do not appear to notice.
Oh, good.
If they do, they haven't said anything.
Okay. Looking through my other equipment. Make sure I don't have anything else that...
They will want you to turn, like, your things inside out, your bags inside out, to make sure that there's nothing else in them. That includes your quiver.
My quiver?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of arrows in there, but okay.
How many arrows come out of your quiver?
I have 200 arrows. So, a lot of arrows.
Can I actually pull that many?
Place your weapons on the ground.
place my weapon on the ground.
I place my bow on the ground.
Cale,
Yes. I do
you
so.
place your...
I'm
place your
listing
shield.
out all of the things, but yes.
Okay. Are you placing your shield on the ground as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're going to wait for you to be thorough, to like right down to your belt pouches. So if anyone wants to hold on to anything, do request a sleight of hand check, because they're going to stand here all day if they have to make sure that you completely unequip yourselves.
I mean, I'm not getting naked.
No, they're not going to take your clothes off.
So all my little belt pouches that contain whatever little trinkets and coins and stuff, I'm just leaving those on my belt because they didn't say to do that.
Okay.
I'm going to put my obvious weapons down, which, oh yeah, the, that's going to be a fun one. There we go.
And then they're going to tell each of you, step 10 feet to your left.
Okay.
They see you complying and they say, step 10 more feet to your left.
Oh my goodness. Look, I fully understand the measure for all of this. I just... We're going to need that stuff back in order to complete our mission.
Sky, ascend the well. Inspect what is up there. Identify the reason they were able to descend. He ascends. If he does not return within 5 minutes, we are going to hold you accountable.
It's a long ladder. I don't want to be held accountable for him being slow.
He moves up, and then you all see you see him come back down, and he shakes his head no, and says, Sharon's body is at the top of the well. I pulled it out.
Oh my goodness, is that her name? I'm terribly sorry.
They roll initiative.
God damn it. Alright.
At least I don't need my weapon, because I still have my necklace holy symbol. That's why you always keep two. One to find, one to keep.
25.
I really hope I beat the Warforged, because they're in prime position to get destroyed.
16.
But I probably didn't. 7. I suppose I could use inspiration to beat them. Hopefully.
So they got...
I guess not.
3.
Wow.
Stay clear of the blast radius.
Oh, I can't. Damn it.
So, you guys need weapons.
I can get over to my weapon just fine. So I got a... Are you entering them in,
It's already done.
Oh, okay. So, Cale, you go first.
Yes, I do.
Battle music. Yay! Kill things.
Are you sure you don't want to continue listening to this sad song while you murder the last of these people?
Well, we don't want to. We tried. We
How about
really
You
tried.
guys, trying hasn't even begun, guys. Come on. You give up so easily. So I'm first in initiative.
I am sorry. I didn't intend for it to be this way.
It hasn't escalated yet.
Okay.
It is not over until the first blow is swung. It hasn't been swung yet. And so for my action, I am spreading my hands plaintively before me, and continuing what I was saying before. I am terribly sorry for your loss. The Warforged up there was dead when we arrived, and our mission, which pulls us, said that we needed to be down here, so we simply climbed down.
Okay, roll deception.
Will do. That's looking good. That's going to be an 18.
All right. The leader says, "Stand fast."
As an action, I would only take the defensive action. But I'm not going to be like, I don't know, maybe...
Is anyone going to take any hostile action?
No.
Okay, I'll end initiative. We can resume it.
in case, if anything else happens.
And, leader said, "We have not had to have a criminal trial for our entire existence. We have not had to face court-martial for hundreds of years."
Are you going to put whatever did it, the Minotaurs, perhaps? Or what else did we see up there? There were...
Knowles, I think.
Knowles, yeah. One of them on trial? They're all, well, the ones that we came across anyway, have been dealt with.
How did you get down here?
We climbed down the ladder after we ascended the ziggurat, which appears to...
I don't mean the Illithid encampment. I mean, how did you get to the labyrinthine maze?
The Arconomox who live above you were sensitive to the importance of our mission and allowed us to pass through their domain.
You are in alliance with the Arconomox.
I understand your meaning, and no, we are not here to deliver you to them. We do not care that you inhabit this place, and we have no intention of informing the Arconomox. They simply led us through their tower, which rests above this place, as you're well aware, so that we could enter the labyrinth.
And prevent the destruction of the world.
Which they're part of.
Can you provide that you will not inform the Arconomox of our location?
Beyond my word, I'm not certain what you would wish me to give. But name it, and if it is within my power, I shall give it.
This has not happened before. You're at a loss to ensure your loyalty.
Look, what is your name?
My name,
Your name. State your name.
Leader.
Leader, I saw the histories that the Arconomox keep. I am aware of the terrible things that they did to your people. I am aware of the war you fought to escape their power. And I have seen the books that record your life down here beneath Osensine, beneath the demons. If you're happy to continue existing that way, as long as nothing interferes with my mission to save the rest of the world, you can continue living down here. I have no reason to stop you doing that. I simply need
ensure safe passage for us through the labyrinth.
You wish to leave the labyrinth?
We wish to leave the human empire.
I can ensure safe passage for you through the labyrinth in as far as I can defend you against the creatures that live there. Once we reach the human empire, controlled by the Arcanomox, I cannot be held responsible for how they respond. I can only guarantee you that I will argue in your defense to them, as they...
We do not find this to be acceptable. We must have an alternative means. We cannot expect you to live with us.
I cannot guarantee to you that the Arcanomox will listen to me. I can only guarantee to you that I will argue in your defense.
The odds are low in trusting a human.
The odds are very low in trusting a human. Of this, I am all too well aware.
What leverage do you have over the human empire?
The human empire that lies above, between you and freedom, the one that rules over it is aware of the importance of our mission and does not wish to stand in the way of its completion. I could persuade him that it is not harmful to him to let you free of this place. I assume, given your small numbers, you're not intending to fight another war against them once you're up there.
We have an alternative. You inform them we are mission critical to your success. We stay in your immediate vicinity during your exodus. We leave the borders of the human empire together.
That is something that could be agreeable. What is your intention upon leaving the human empire? To simply form another commune such as this? Or are you going to try and fight another war against the Arcanomox?
Your information is erroneous. We did not war against Arcanomox alone. We warred against the wizards of the human empire, including their Arcanomox lackeys.
The human empire, as such, no longer exists. It is now several empires spread across many continents. They are not all aligned. Your information is out of date.
We require intelligence on a nation that would receive us as refugees.
A nation that would receive you as refugees, huh? Solgoth is part of Hexelra, right?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
asking the DM, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. So we would want them beyond Hexelra.
Diva?
Well,
Diva,
perhaps-
maybe. Honestly, they'd
Hades,
probably
maybe.
have the best chance with the dwarves.
Maybe the Feywild?
Maybe.
no,
but
they.
They're
They
pretty
seem
unnatural.
No, we're going right to Hades. You need to go, Justin Rowe.
Just drop them off in Testedro. Perfect. They can make friends with the King of Perfidia.
The wilderness?
Well, what do you mean the wilderness? Every continent has wilderness, Dreythor. Heck, Silverhedriel's small and naturalistic, but they would stand out there, being not, natural.
Silverhedriel has outstanding allegiances with nearby kingdoms in good faith. It is too risky.
Well, then your options are to find a way into the Feywild or Azrathime. The land of dwarves.
And a third choice may be one of the kinder provinces in the divine provinces of Diva. Seeing as they are the enemies of those who currently rest
Actually,
above us.
Prism.
We do not trust the gods of humans.
I figured that to be the case.
Prism would not be bad.
Prism.
Clarify, prism.
It's a massive trade city. It's the only city known to Tartar, the Tartar wasteland. It was created by the survivors of the Solgoth bombardment.
A city of refugees.
Indeed.
They may find welcome there. Among
Indeed.
like-minded people.
Much trade and work is in Prism.
We do not require work. We do not require trade. We require
Freedom.
the ability to exist. The right to live.
That generally costs money in most civilized areas.
You would have us pay fees for existence like chattel.
Everybody has to work for a living, do they not?
They may not, Dreythor.
We serve
They have
no
no need
one.
of food or
We will
sleep.
never serve your kind ever again.
Oh, I'm not saying to serve. To coexist.
You would have us pay you to coexist?
Not me.
I do not believe payment would be necessary. Dreythor, you forget, the things we pay for, they do not need.
They
do not
can
need.
build their own homes. They don't need food or water. They don't need clothing. They could just exist. They don't need a city, other than that they want its protection from nations that don't like them.
Well, they would be sympathetic to their cause there.
Possibly.
Prism sounds acceptable. You will escort us to prison.
That'll be an interesting trip.
It will take some time to secure a voyage there.
We still have to get through the Arcanomox.
And we still have to get through the pyramid as well. That's
And
no
we're sure
guarantee
as hell
either.
not doing the whole recall thing again.
I know.
We are calculating odds. You can escort us as mission-critical diplomatic entities of your entourage.
I think I know what to tell the Arcanomox, yes. This may work. Then, I shall present you on our way out of here once our mission in this location is completed. Escort you safely as is possible through the labyrinth with the knowledge that it is infested with dangerous creatures such as minotaurs and gnolls. And then present you to the Arcanomox as we leave this place as mission critical. Assets. You would have to be agreeable to creating a ruse, as you have suggested, that you are our tools in this endeavor, and therefore necessary.
Provided we have diplomatic immunity.
You would have the same, if all goes to plan, you would have enjoy the same immunity that we enjoy, because you would be our entourage, as you have stated. I also need you to be aware that the way things are stated and called may change at any given moment to better suit the narrative we are trying to create. And you need to be ready to agree with whatever is said so that we can get through. Do you understand?
We are agreeable to this.
I think this can work, then.
We must stay in your physical proximity. In the event of double crossing, we need to have your life as an assurance.
I think that will only help to sell the ruse, especially if you surround us, as you say. It will make it more believable that you are our guard.
Your proposal is acceptable.
Do you want a handshake? How do we signify? In human culture, we usually use a handshake to signify an agreement.
Warforged simply understand what agreeable is.
Very good. Then, in as far as has been stated, we are agreed. If further clarification of any part is needed by either party, it should be able to be asked for at any time.
You may recollect your belongings.
Thank you, leader.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Out of character. And you guys thought we were going to have to kill them all.
I thought you guys were gonna kill them all.
I was gonna do another round or two. I wasn't immediately gonna. I was not taking the first swing. That much I know.
I was all excited about a big combat.
Of course you were. You're horrible. You're a terrible person.
That is a lot of Warforged. That would not have been a fun fight, Kevin.
Yes, it would. We would have gone up the ladder and fought one at a time.
No.
How? What?
You can't fight like that.
It would be a little difficult, honestly. Like, because you'd be spread eagled, your legs. You'd be trying to like hold yourself up with your feet while reaching down with your weapon, or shooting arrows past us who are also in the shaft.
No, we get up to the top.
That's a 560-foot climb.
What are you, weak? Come on, get up there.
I mean, I could probably
Those things definitely climb faster than I do. I would not make it to the top.
Yeah, I think the Warforged might actually overtake us on the ladder.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I'm not
Actually,
certain.
we could just...
I don't think the odds here, Kevin, would have been very good. We probably would have.
I could have gotten out.
Listen here, murder hobo. Knock it off.
But he had a monocle. He's definitely a wizard.
You see, the thing is that mobility affects movement speed in difficult terrain, but that's not the same as climbing speed. So I don't actually have a higher climbing speed, and I can't climb faster because of it.
I have a climbing speed of 500 feet. It's called Dimension Door.
Yeah, which you can take one person through.
Claire,
I pick Morgan.
the leader says, clarify the next stage of your mission.
Investigation of that sword.
I need an assurance, an understanding, that the stages of our mission do not impact the agreement we already have as stands.
To our knowledge, they do not. However, your mission is extremely risky.
Our mission is extremely risky to our own lives, but if we do not risk them, then we might lose the lives of everyone in this world.
Grasping that sword is not something that people can do.
Clarify.
That sword is guarded.
Protected, warded.
Guarded.
By what?
A guard.
A Warforged? A Aberration?
Negative.
Make a what?
Negative.
Negative.
Our research indicates that it is a human from Draconia.
Ancient
pull it
human?
out.
Ancient human.
Directly guarded by him.
Affirmative.
This ancient human from Draconia, is his name Anon?
Affirmative.
Have Warforged attempted to draw out the sword?
Negative.
What has been experienced, leader, near the sword?
Warforged approached and were intercepted by Anon. Anon explains the importance of keeping the sword safe. We found agreeable alliance, as in event of danger, Anon will protect the sword and provide an additional retreat point for us to make a last stand in the event that the well's defenses are breached.
As they very nearly were, as they were by us. Leader, may I try to speak with Anon, as your people did in the past?
You may. I expect that you must find it a humbling experience if you are to succeed.
Dealing with one as old as him, who founded nations? Yeah. Humbling is a good word for it, leader.
The odds are low for a human to be humble.
You know a lot about humans, leader.
I have had 102 masters.
Your understanding of their inner workings is impressive, leader. I'm going to finish collecting my items, replacing my weapons in their respective sheaths, but maintaining my shield on my arm and my rapier drawn. And I'm going to make...
Oh, if you finish, sorry.
I'm going to make my way around the water pool here over toward the sword and continue approaching slowly until something happens.
Yeah.
I'm probably still collecting my stuff. Because it's a lot of stuff.
You may collect stuff at the same amount of time. I want to know if anyone's going with Cale.
I would, but I travel from a distance.
I need, basically a marching order of your approach, including how far apart you are. You may start with Cale being there, because I just assumed he's
I'm fine way the back here. Because it doesn't matter how far it is. If it's less than 300 feet, I can hit it.
It's much less than that, apparently.
Yes.
You hang out with all those warforged who are going to stare dead right at you.
I just have my bow at the ready. Not drawn, though.
As you come to there, suddenly a figure who is clad in dragon-stylized plate armor appears before you wearing the house colors of House Anon. He stands...
I imagine they're red and blue.
Okay. Yeah, red and blue is fine. I do need a piece, though.
Ooh, he should have a cool piece. What kind of cool piece should he have?
You know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy your piece.
Okay.
And change it to blue, please.
Sounds good to me. Color tint, blue, apply. There you go.
He is a quintessential knight in shining armor. He materializes next to the sword, wielding the facsimile of the sword.
I actually give my old military salute.
He stands and says, "Why do you salute me?"
You are a non, are you not?
Who are you?
I am Cale. I am of your lineage. Many generations later. You founded the Protectors of Draconia, House Anon.
A house.
A whole house under your name. In the time I am from, it was at a golden empire. Envy of many.
Empires, envy, houses, titles, nothing.
What is it you guard in this place, Anon?
I guard an evil which should not be named. My greatest triumph and my greatest failure. What is it that you seek here? To release the specter that I have sacrificed to keep hidden?
It has been necessitated. The world is in turmoil, and the power of this place is needed to protect it. In order to utilize it, we must enter, which, as you say, risks releasing the specter. But we are prepared to fight.
You think you can get through that temple and become chosen of the dragons?
I am already chosen of the dragons, Anon.
You are chosen of the dragons.
I am chosen of the dragons.
What is your name, chosen of the dragons? Or shall I simply call you chosen of the dragons?
Cale, Anon. Cale of House Anon.
Cale of House Anon. Interesting. And he looks at his sword and then looks back at you with just his eyes looking at you scantily. Very interesting.
I'm rolling insight on him.
Okay.
What, don't trust the hologram?
No, I don't.
I am the Holly 9000.
He's not a non. He was created by whoever's
He's another ghost pretending to be part of the challenge.
He's just an image of the fucker inside.
What do you get?
That's an 11.
Okay, you can't tell what he's thinking.
Can I hear him? Like, can I roll insight on this?
Well, you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 25 feet away, so yeah, I guess you can hear him.
I got a 9. Because I can never roll cut on what matters.
Okay. Dreythor cannot hear him.
I'm not sure Dreythor can even see him.
You're not really a non, are you? You're just a specter of the creature that has been trapped in that bubble.
What are you going to do with my sword?
I look at the falchion. I'm going to do what I was sent to do, regardless of who you really are. I'm going to complete the mission of the Warriors of the Curse.
That sword is only able to be wielded by me, by my blood, by my existence.
Really?
If you're capable of pulling it, then that alone will prove who you are. But that doesn't mean you're worthy of it.
You can do it.
Do you know why swords really are powerful? Swords are the ultimate mirror. They're a reflection. They tell you who you really are. Now, if you really are a hero and you carry on my ideals, you would be willing to sacrifice yourself as I did. I want to see what kind of man you really are. And I want to see if you really trust in order to wield me.
Morgan,
Yes,
be ready.
I am.
What I do may release whatever's inside. He's goading me to take it. He knows he'll be released once I do.
No, I don't want you to take it. Not yet.
I'd like
Matter of
to
fact,
have a
if you
prepared
try to touch
action.
that, I will cut you down.
I would like to have a prepared action of if the barrier falls, I cast protection from evil and good on myself.
Okay?
Then, what is it that you are challenging me? Because it sounded like you challenged me to lift the sword.
I'm going to challenge you to prove that you trust me. If you trust me, then you can have the sword.
I have very little reason to trust you, because, as far as I am understanding, Anon died ages ago. The glorious founder of our house.
Is that what they said?
That is what the books say.
What books? Who wrote the books?
I actually unsling my backpack. No! Damn it, Morgan has it!
I will walk up and hand you the book.
Do you remember way back when you were corporeal? Subutai?
I know Subutai. Subutai wrote a book.
Subutai wrote a journal.
He had a journal at the time.
In
He
it,
dropped that thing.
he dropped it. I gingerly open the pages and ensure that no writing has changed on me. That it still lists, you know, items, equipment, and daily happenings. And I want to know, because we didn't get to talk about it much earlier, very quickly, what Subutai's feelings on Anon were, because he said he contains personal thoughts on Anon's character.
He thought Anon was far too selfless. He was worried that he was going to get himself killed by fighting whatever they were going to go and fight. And Anon, it states that Anon was infected in the fighting. And then it says that he has a plan. He's going to utilize the spells on the pyramid, and that's the last entry. Does not say what happened to him.
And it doesn't say what type of spell he used, just a spell.
It says a spell from the pyramid.
Use a spell from the pyramid on the pyramid.
Nope, it just says he has a plan. He's going to use a spell from the pyramid.
Okay. Says Anon has a plan. He is going to use a spell from the pyramid, not on. And then there are no further entries on him. Is that the last entry? Like, Subutai didn't write anymore?
Correct.
According to Subutai. You used a spell, or planned to use a spell from the pyramid. I assume he means this one. He says that you were infected during the fighting. What did you do?
I slew the eldritch evil that was here, but in the process, it bound itself to me. I had to ensure that it would never escape. I continued to ensure it would never escape, and I used a wish to make sure that that thing will be destroyed. Not a wish in the traditional sense. The easiest phrase is that it's a bit more potent than what a djinn can provide you. A genie. Are you familiar with genie?
I am aware of the stories that they can grant the wish spell.
I once got a bottle. I didn't know it. I summoned a genie. I assumed it was a monster coming. And as it was crushing the life out of me, I told it to go fuck itself. To my surprise, it did. That was how I got it to leave me alone.
It was busy fucking itself.
My first encounter with wishes was not a good one.
No. No, I would say not. Anon, is it your life that still remains trapped in this timeless place, bound to the eldritch evil you attempted to slay?
It is and it isn't. My body is in there, but it's not me.
Yes, that's what I thought you were saying. Is your sword capable of ending the life of that body?
As a matter of fact, my sword is the only thing that can end what is in there. That was the point of the wish. It ended up holding me inside. That sword is me. When it is used, it can take my life and put it inside. You understand?
I think I do. If
The
I
thing that is timelessly bound there can finally be destroyed. And that's the way to do it. That's the key. He points to the sword.
I have the key.
You don't have the key. I have the key right now. I need to know that you're humble enough to be a true hero and not just let that thing loose, take the sword, and do what you want.
An empire was founded in your name.
I don't care about that. I care about that thing, because it doesn't matter what empires are there anymore. They're going to be gone.
I have sacrificed for that empire to protect it once before. I am prepared to do that again.
Then kneel.
Cale takes a breath, as though thinking, considering, and then finally steps back on his left foot and bends his knee.
Anon walks forwards to Cale. And I'm going to have everyone roll initiative.
That doesn't sound good.
I've got something that sounds worse. I got a natural 1.
I got a 3.
Ooh, I got 23.
Show off.
Are you editing the card, Drew? Your hand is over it.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. what did Anon get?
He got his stat block.
I guess it only makes sense. Dropped all my defenses.
I suppose.
Got an 18.
Alright.
Now, as he comes closer, you actually notice that his skin underneath his armor has scales.
Dragon blood.
And underneath the folds of his cape, you actually see wings.
I'm jealous of this guy, he's cool.
He has wings and dragon blood.
He is a dragon-blooded sorcerer and a paladin.
Is that like a thing that Anon was? Or is this some other thing?
That's what the books state.
Well then.
But I only ever had stories. This is the first time I'm seeing it.
So, Dreythor, you are first. You are going to see that he is going to plunge his sword into Cale's heart. What are you going to do?
This is either part of a ritual or as things are going really wrong.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell that from that far away, isn't it?
Okay. Simple solution. I ready an arrow and prepare to fire, waiting to see the resolution of this.
If Cale dies, I shoot.
No, I just, based on if it truly is a hostile action and not part of a ritual, then I'll fire.
Anon of House Anon.
It's
and
an
then it's my turn. Yeah.
He is going to plunge it into your heart. Are you going to get out of the way?
No.
Okay. Now, mechanically, there isn't really a coup de grace anymore, I don't think. So I'm going to allow you to choose to let yourself be killed in this manner. Are you going to do that?
I got you.
It's a test of trust. And Cale wants to save the world, and this is the way to do it. The things that he's read, the things that he's said, add up and make sense.
You're going to do it?
I might regret it later. But I chose this path.
You all stand in horror as you see Cale die as the sword is plunged into him. And then it flies out of the stone into Cale in the same exact position where Anon was, only Anon no longer holds it. And you hear his voice say, "The sword is yours, and you may pull it out of yourself. Covered in your own blood, you feel a connection to it. You are automatically attuned. It is a magical weapon, and you notice that it is capable of being utilized with dexterity as a finesse falchion. It has 2d4 as its damage.
I'm automatically in love. I roll to seduce the sword. Kidding,
Additionally,
Why not get me one of those?
it is a defender. You may choose to put up to +3 for either attack and damage or for defense. You do that per the rules of the defender's weapon.
That's awesome.
Is that a... I need to look at the defender, because I don't know if what you're saying is a, like, instantaneous ability or a choose once and it's like that forever.
No, you constantly choose it. It tells you when you choose. I think it's at the start of your turn.
Okay. Control, find,
and it literally will create a shield
defender.
for you to help defend the
Weapon,
more
any
that
sword. You gain
defend.
plus. Okay. I'm gonna quickly read it just so that I understand it.
Alright.
You gain a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. The first time you attack with the sword on each of your turns, you can transfer some or all of the sword's bonus to your AC, instead of using the bonus on any attack that turn. For example, you could reduce the bonus of your attack and damage rolls to +1, and give the +2 to your AC. The adjusted bonuses remain in effect until the start of your next turn, although you must hold the sword to gain the bonus to AC from it. That is cool. Yeah, okay, I understand now.
Okay.
How's he doing hit point wise?
Yeah, what exactly so you say that per the ritual, I die. When I pull it from myself, what happens to my HP? Am I at 1?
You are actually, you were at 0, and then you pulled it, and you are now at 1.
Okay. Painful, but worth it.
Anon, like I said, was no longer there. The sword is no longer in the stone.
Right. It's in my chest. I don't know. Like, do I slump over when I die, or is the sword, like, holding me up as it's through my body, and I have to...
Did you ever play Devil May Cry?
Yes.
You know how Alistair impales him, like, backward and, like...
Yeah. He's, like, in a kneeling position. It's like a tripod holding him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And so, like, I'm limp and dead, and then, like, my one hand rises to the hilt, and I begin pulling it out of my own chest. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. What is the sword's name, now that I'm attuned to it?
Anon.
Ah.
Is the barrier still up?
We have to place
No.
hand. No?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
I was gonna say, we have to place our hand on the thing to make that go away.
Yeah, I said no, meaning yes.
You thought he asked if the barrier was down, I assume.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that if we press any further, we're gonna run into a big fight.
Yes.
Is
Which
10,
we don't have.
12.
I don't have time for at the very least.
Yeah.
Woo.
And we should probably take a long rest to, you know, restore spell slots and restore certain someone's health.
I'd say that was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. There was the revivified backup if he was just a jerk.
I mean, I just imagine that, like, the sword gets plunged in my character's just dies, and everybody's like, what do we do?
I would have gone over, resurrected you, and moved on.
Okay.
It is okay. You must forgive Morgan for being less impressed. He is a conduit for a god, and
It's true.
not just going to compare everything to him.
I've seen worse.
Yeah.
Action.
No, you haven't. Well, I've imagined worse.
No, I've seen worse. Did anyone see what happened to the Deva? I call that worse.
That one tried to kill me.
Fair.
Okay, manage equipment, add item.
But seriously, are we done for tonight?
Yeah, I can go longer because it's Labor Day and I don't have work tomorrow, but yeah, we're...
Alright, so because it's a finesse weapon, I'm gonna add it to my inventory in D&D Beyond as a Defender Rapier. Just because that is going to make the most sense to the program, even though I know that it looks like a falchion.
Yes, it also does 2d4 damage.
Yeah, I'll customize all that. Actually, I might be able to just... Hold on, I might be able to just customize the whole thing. Alright.
Well, I gotta go. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, buddy.
Alright, I tuned this.
See if I did any of my things.
That was so cool.
It was cool.
Customize to hit override.
I was
Adamantine.
really close to firing at him, but I.
Yeah, that would have backfired.
I did not. I did not. I
Finesse.
waited.
Falchion. Alright. To hit override and hit
Fairness.
bonus
We
damage.
all do the work. Fairness doesn't apply. Aspiration doesn't really apply. Adventure.
I mean, you can ask about when you were resisting the Geist, because it was fairness to someone who was telling you the truth.
That's true. Can I request ideals fairness for subverting the Geas?
Yes.
Yay! I suck. See, the problem is I suck at requesting it. Because I never think anything I do is good, so I never
You
think
can
to
stop
request
that.
it. I know.
That sounds like a personal problem. That's
It is.
Alright.
Now, did you out of curiosity, Tristan, did you prepare that story, or did you is that just you? Off the
I
cuff.
mean, it's telling it like that is off the cuff, but I wrote that story 8 years ago.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
had like
this
cliff notes
started-
to go off of.
This campaign started with that story.
Oh, okay. So, still, it was a good telling of it.
Hmm. I mean, I didn't have to read anything. I know the story of my character.
Yeah.
So, I don't, like, I have, the story is in my head memorized, but I mean, like, anytime I tell anything, I'm ad-libbing, you know, I don't read notes unless I actually have to go and look at a note to find something. But I didn't have to. Because I wrote...
When I'm DMing, or even, like, saying a story, I have to prepare it in advance. I'm not very good at telling a story on the spot like that.
I mean, it's just something that I've developed over the 8 years of role-playing I've done with Drew, starting back with, you know, my Exalt, when he asked me to write a backstory. He said, just write a few paragraphs a page, and I gave him 2 pages, and then we had this really epic story through Exalted, where that is a very free-form game. You have to think on your feet, and you have to decide what your character wants to do, because there aren't plot rails. You know, there isn't an overarching objective unless you as a character create it, because you're the most powerful thing in the world. Nothing can tell you what needs to be done. You have to decide. So, through playing that for, you know, we played that for 1.5 years, I think, I really developed, very quickly, an ability to determine a character's motivations, and it became very clear very quickly how important to the rest of storytelling motivations are. And so anytime I'm playing a character, the first thing I do, before I know what color their hair is determine what their motivations are, because everything else about them builds off of that. And you can build backward from that, so you understand the motivations of the character you want to play, and from there you can say, well, so the reason that they'd have these motivations are, this was their home life, how they were brought up. And right. Because in order to instill those things... So, it's just, like I say, it's 8 years of practice. I was a terrible DM the first time I DM'd. Drew remembers. So he had, like, 1 session in 3.5. And I tried, but I was bad at creating encounters, and I was bad at the storytelling portion of it. And it was just like, yeah, all you guys are there... responding to a call for heroes, and they're going to put you to this test to make sure that you're up to the challenge, and then send you off to go do the thing. And it all fell apart. Like, I was bad the first time I GM'd, and it took, through those 8 years, I slowly worked my way into it by doing shadow runs. I would write a shadow run and be like, alright, this is going to be the mission, and each time I did a shadow run, it was a little better than the last time, until I finally started making the Shadow Ones related to each other, because I started getting an idea for a story I wanted to tell through the missions. Be like, oh, they ran this mission for this guy, they run this mission for that guy. These two missions are related in the background, not that the players know, in this way. So the next mission is going to be like this because of the previous missions. And then they would suddenly have a mission from one of the previous Johnsons, and they'd be like, hey, remember me? We gotta do this now. And so now I DM, and storytelling just sort of comes naturally.
I generally have like 20 or so pages for each adventure, all prepared, cinematic events, and then interlink them within a storyline. Just because I will stumble over words or grab the wrong word, and then everybody always makes fun of me for grabbing the wrong word, so I just don't do that.
You just deal with it. Like, you're gonna misspeak. That has nothing to do with your ability. You know? I say the wrong things all the time. And, you know, shit, no, that's not what I meant. I meant to say this. And they laugh, and you go, ha ha ha, and then you carry on. You can't, like, let it stop you. You can't, because there's a momentum, and you gotta keep it going. So you gotta be able to say, hang on, this is what I mean. Here's how we're running it. You gotta control the room a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
I'm so glad they did not find that arm dangling behind me into my pants pocket.
yeah, that could have gone
We
really
totally
bad.
didn't kill them. Why do you have
That could have gone really bad really fast. But I still think that my favorite part about the whole situation is how everyone's like, well, we tried. We tried so hard. We didn't want to kill all these people, but now they're dead. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? The fight hasn't even started. We haven't even begun trying not to kill these people.
I mean, I don't know how I'm trying to think of how the Arcanamux would view them now.
Well, he's right. Like, honestly, the suggestion that the computer came up with is not half fucking bad. As I told him, the Arcanamux, we are in, like, we're allied with the leader of the whole nation, Sol, the dragon.
Yes.
And he wants our mission to succeed, so it is a logical assumption that one of us could tell Sol, we need these people. You need to let us leave with them. And
I was this close to when you started talking to say, alright, well, my name is...
Don't do it!
I am a knight of the Arcanamux, and I will guarantee your safety through the city. You know, that was going to be my initial reaction, but then I'm like, I'll let you talk this out.
There's a possibility it could have worked, however, the problem is you already told them that you weren't aligned with the nation, and you know how they feel about lying.
I never said I wasn't aligned with the nation. I said I was originally from Silva Heldrio,
I
which
caught
is not
that.
the lie. Which is not the lie, so that didn't need to roll deception.
I was worried when you said originally from Silva Heldrio. I was really worried you were gonna go on from there and say, and now I'm an Arcanamach.
Well, they say, well, where are you from now? Well, I travel around the world. I've been to Paylor. Recently, I've been to Solgath, as I am here now, below it. So I would have still tried to... Solgoth, yeah.
G-O-T-H.
Yeah, I know. I want to call it Gath for some reason.
I'm
it's
trying.
fucking Boston accent. Gath. I want to say Gath.
Customize.
But I would have tried to dodge the question as best I could.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that they were put on alert because you were dodging questions.
I
want to
dodge
know
questions
why
when
you
I
went
can't
that
think.
well.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I used my hands and my feet. It's like...
Well, I couldn't think of a good reason to say their dead compatriot is hanging above a hole. Like, luckily Tristan came up with the idea that somebody else killed it. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
I just assumed that I was the one who killed them because I did.
Right. No, I didn't think of that as a way to talk my way out of it.
I mean, it all plays into that storytelling thing, like being able to come up with a story that makes sense, that's got a beginning, middle, and end. The idea that these people were up there as the door guards against to alert the people down
They
below.
were on vacation.
I don't think they were on vacation. They were guards. They were guarding that area. They were the ones making sure that, you know, up there was quiet and stayed, you know, reasonably everything free, which included minotaurs and,
True.
What?
They did say the guards did say they were on vacation, did they not?
The guards said they were on vacation?
Oh,
Yeah,
he means when we first spoke to them.
Yeah,
I think so.
on vacation they said.
I just assumed that was a euphemism. Something that they've learned to say in response to humans.
Either that or they were trying to hide the rest of them that are hiding down
Well,
there.
yeah, I think that was the point, was that they'd been trained that anybody who came in from the human empire and came and found Warforged would expect them to be soldiers for the human empire's army, and that they weren't with the human empire. There had to be a reason for it. And so their reason is vacation. It does not let me customize what I want to customize.
Normally slaves don't get vacation.
Yeah. On the plus side,
But I think...
now we have everything we need, Cale.
Mm-hmm.
We can get a boat. You're the captain. We have our crewman. I'm first mate. Morgan's second mate. And we have all the Warforged as the crewman. We're good.
Alright.
Just need to re-enslave them. It's fine.
I'll remember that it's 2d4 because I like the 2d4 falchion from 4th ed.
You can change the size of it to do that.
What? I'm looking
Yeah.
under customize. Where do we
let me
see
see.
that? I see weight override, silver damage bonus, to hit bonus. I just overrode the to hit to be plus 10 because it's my plus 7, plus 3 magic.
Let's see. Equipment. Add item.
But I thought that was a pretty cool part there with a non-Drew. That was really cool.
Oh, thank you. He was a little more serious than I originally put him, but he was doing a serious thing.
That whole set of scenes was very serious. Like, starting with the angel, you know.
Yeah.
It was just not a bad thing. I mean, that's just, it had to be. It's like I told Dreythor during combat when he said this isn't the time for this. I said, no, this is a very important discussion that needs to be had because this is about trust. And it really just, it worked out well that at the very, it all culminated in a test of trust.
My point was, the angel pretty much was planning to get you killed the whole time.
That I know.
And so, the reason why I worded the suggestion that way was, we can kill him later, let's use him as a tool now.
Yes, I know.
I was trying
But because
to...
your spell was directed at the angel and not me, I was not aware that you were using command or suggestion or whatnot. Is this what we're changing to?
No. There would have been an incantation before I did that.
Ah.
So you would have known 100% that was a spell.
I've never been certain that command it requires an incantation for it to work because it always just says you utter a command.
I use suggestion, not command.
If there's a verbal component, then it also has a actual incantation.
I'll have
That
to
was
check.
clarified by the creators for suggestion specifically because people wanted to know whether they could, like,
See the
if they're
suggestion
like
coming.
hidden somewhere, can they cast suggestion and no one knows they cast a spell?
And the answer is no.
Well, yeah, because they gotta you see use the incantation. Sorcerers do have meta magic that they can use spell slots or like a set number of meta magic points per day to do stuff like silent spell. Like they have the old meta magic feats. They're just a feature of being a sorcerer. So you can do like the maximize disintegrate spell or stuff like that. You just burn through this class feature pool. Cast silent suggestion.
Yeah.
The heck? Why is it Falchion popping on my list?
The Falchion doesn't exist in 5th edition.
Oh.
It's effectively a great. You can just customize the look of a great sword, though, because things can be cosmetically whatever you want. However, we have gone a step further and customized the stats of a great sword to recreate the old 4E Falchion.
I think. Oh.
Now,
Yeah,
it's
it
finesse, but I assume that means it's still two-handed, meaning that I can't
Yes.
use my shield, but that's actually okay, because it's a defender, so I'm
Yes.
perfectly happy. I will actually unequip my shield so that it doesn't appear in my AC. Equipment. Adamantine half-plate. Shield. So that brings me down to 20 AC, but then I can just pop points into it if I need to. Probably just constantly run it as a +2 to hit and damage.
Oh, were those okay for my character? The ones I sent you to, those seemed reasonable. I didn't know how many I can have. I was just trying to think of ones that would go more towards the stuff I actually care about as a character. I exit this game.
Whoops, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I think that matches more the way I play my character, because the way I play my character was not the original way I was thinking about my character.
Yeah.
Um,
That's honestly, I find that it's better to, like, for the alignment blocking stuff, like, I actually generally recommend it be left blank until you play your character for a while.
That'll give me 21 AC normally and +2 magic. Which is decent. I'm actually, like, before we leave the area, I assume we're going to, since the barrier's still up, we haven't activated the thing, I think that we would go, we'll have to roleplay it later, but we would go back to the, Warforged, to quickly explain that, you know, show the sword and say that I am now acting as a nun, and we need to rest. Before we carry out Anon's will, which is... But yeah, I pieced together pretty quickly what was going on. Once he talked about his sacrifice, I realized that he was the thing inside the temple. Not him. His body.
Yeah, it's pretty rough what he's been through.
It really is funny to me how self-sacrifice runs in our family.
Yeah.
And how it always makes...
A''NON, right?
The way,
Yes.
yes.
Alright, I'm going to try to make this weapon. I looked at how other people did it. They used the long sword as their base weapon.
But a long sword is not a finesse weapon.
You can make it a finesse weapon. And you can change its size and require it to be two-handed.
Yeah, this
which
is
will then
really...
make a 2d4.
It's really weird how little control I have in customize over the greatsword. Like, the only things I can control are the to-hit bonus, the damage bonus, whether it's silvered or adamantine, and then I named it and gave it notes so that it can quickly reference things about it. Of course, that means that all my attunement slots are now filled, so I'm pretty kitted out now.
I enjoy D&D.
Yes! Yes. There are so many fun stories to be told.
Okay, here, add a modifier. Okay.
I don't hear the music. Did you change?
I
the music?
did, and it's doing that BS again, so we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna try this once more.
Replace damage type. Oh, cool. Eldritch Blast, favorite enemy. Weapon property. Finesse. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's so weird that I can't just, like...
Yeah, so what you gotta do is you go to edit your, now go to edit your magic item. Go down to modifiers, and you can add a modifier.
Well, so what I'm doing is I'm clicking on it, and it's bringing in the sidebar, which explains everything about it, because it's a defender. And so I just went to the customize portion, and under defender, the customize portion is just to hit override, to hit bonus, damage bonus, cost override, weight override, silvered adamantine display as attack, name, and notes. That's it.
Wait, what are you doing?
I went to the magic items under equipment and added the defender as a greatsword.
No. Go to items, homebrew magic items, and then create it first, and then add it to your list of things you can add, and then
Yes, I can do that.
That's how you do it, because you have so many options. You can change the type of damage, what the dice for the damage are, what the type of damage it does, if it has speed reduction, stealth disadvantage. You can do all that stuff.
Defender greatsword. Create from scratch.
Create from scratch is maybe easier. I don't know. I'll let you play with it.
I'll try
Anyways,
creating a defender greatsword and see what I can do.
probably gonna play some Monster Hunter. Let's see. Is there anything else we need to talk about before I do so? We're playing again same time next week?
Yeah.
Okay. This is working then. Cool.
Yeah. Is it working for you?
Yeah. Just this weekend. I feel like my entire weekend is just things scheduled. So like I have no like. I'm just gonna chill today and do nothing.
You have a house.
Yeah. Well, I don't have the house yet. I'm not living there. But yeah.
Doesn't matter. You have, like, that's the problem.
Well, it's not even that. Tomorrow I'm going to ET Engineering. I'm working there in the morning doing tech services, and then I'm doing Gloomhaven in the afternoon. So once again, I'm doing work stuff in the morning, then doing something else socially required in the afternoon. It's just like I just kind of want to just lay back and watch YouTube for 4 hours and do absolutely nothing. Like I don't know.
How many jobs are you working right now?
2. Well, I'm not really working. The other one is just he wanted me to order computers and help set them up for him, so I'm doing so.
Sounds like work.
It is work, but it is not a job I do very often. It just so happens the past couple weeks have been just nothing but scheduled things. I tend to get overwhelmed when too many things are scheduled in a week. I prefer freedom. I'm definitely more chaotic when it comes to schedule. Well, I prefer chaos, but then I also like to do the things that require scheduling, so I typically am at odds with myself.
Fuck me.
I am, what is that, an enigma with that?
Now I'm pissed off.
Is it working or no?
I mean, it's not really...
But I had fun. I was actually a bit worried, but it seemed to work out quite well.
We went through what? 1, 2,
2 encounters.
2 encounters. We did that right at the beginning. Like, honestly, we got through 2 encounters before it was 9 o'clock. Before it was 8 o'clock, I think.
Yes. It's like I'm gonna like the oath bow once we fight the big bad, but it just always feels like, it would have been better as a +1 in these situations. Because I'd like miss by 1. I'm like, damn it. But I know when I get advantage on every attack and sneak attack, and even if my allies aren't near the enemy.
And it is a slashing weapon, right, Drew?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Drew, one thing I was thinking, so is there, I'm trying to think of a way, so when I resummon my familiar to protect him, I provide total cover, assuming I am in front of him. So, as long as what I'm firing at is in front of me, he shouldn't be able to be targeted, correct?
You can from AoEs and stuff.
Yes. Yes, unless I really come up with a unique way to make him so he can't be attacked at all. But I believe it's an action to summon him back to the pocket dimension.
I don't know if he provides total cover. Even if you just provide total cover for wherever they are, I think they're tiny.
I don't know if it takes into account size, actually. You might well, no, actually, remember, the rule was if you can see 2/3 or 1/3, or at least half of the creature, but if the creature is completely concealed, then they have full total cover. Because remember, we were talking about a large creature, so like figuring out if they had cover or whatnot. Forget what the large creature was that we were fighting. I think it was the Minotaur.
You guys went through that encounter like a boss. These poor Minotaurs are underwhelming. Keep fighting them and just like, fuck off.
Dude, I am so glad that worked the way it did. I was just like, I don't know if this is gonna work, and I don't know what it's going to mean in the long run. But luckily, I honestly think it worked out pretty well for us.
It's really hilarious. They're like running toward you, going, "I saw your soul, I saw your soul." They're like, "Go away!" And they're like, "Ah!"
Now, what did you casted? If I remember correctly, you basically cast Turn Undead, but yours affects demons instead, right?
I mean, they're not demons. Well, my character told a very long story after it happened, which you complimented me on. Do you remember what one of the big questions I asked toward the end of the story was?
When you were telling us the story
Yeah.
after the fact, or
When I was telling you guys the story after the fact, I asked a question that was not intended to be answered, because I continued telling the story, and I answered the question, sort of. But I did ask one big important question toward the end of my story. That had to do with taking oaths.
I'm trying to. I remember the angel said that you broke your oath. Something along those lines. I'm trying to remember the exact oath part.
I mean,
'Cause I obviously wasn't writing everything down because I can't write that fast, so I was just listening.
that there is enough. That's enough to know.
I mean, I know that just as you became a slave to this undead being that apparently served the Illithids.
Any
their
of that
gods.
is beyond my knowledge. Only whatever the angel said is what we know, and we don't know it to be true.
But anyways, that for whatever reason, this being accepted taking you as its slave, the Prince of the King, and as a payment to stop attacking your kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if it was winning, I don't understand the reason why it would do that, but it did.
I think it was in this portion.
The reason why who did what?
I don't know if he explained the reason. I didn't ask, but why a being that was about to win and take over a kingdom.
Which we just lost our most of
Wait, what's
our
going on?
army.
Hello?
They lay dead around me. I had but my life left to me.
Oh, you're
If
listening.
I returned, if I tried to return, he'd probably have been able to kill me. I was losing. But he said, our agreement, that he would stop. He would leave my kingdom in peace, for a price. You know what that price is. I had to stay in the Underdark and serve him like a dog.
Yeah, I remember that.
All to protect my kingdom. I gave up everything! To protect those people. My home. My father's kingdom. All that remained after that. Slaughter. Do you know what it is to break an oath? To stand in view of everything that you consider that which defines you, and turn your back on it in hopes that it's enough. So, he directly stated that he broke his oath as a paladin.
Oh, that kind of oath. Gotcha. Okay.
So,
I was thinking, like, I remembered that part as, like, you broke your allegiance to something, or, like, in my mind, I would just skip the head. I wasn't thinking of, like, an oath to a god, or an oath to
being a paladin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that would mean you're an oathbreaker, paladin.
Which is what the angel told you.
Well, that you broke. Okay, so yeah, I did not. I kept thinking you were a cleric for some reason. I don't know why.
Why?
Why? I don't know.
Even after my the period where I was very, very intrigued by this person who supposedly created the Oath of the Ancients.
Yes. Well, not. I didn't think like, oh, you are a cleric. It's just like my